Chapter 1301. She's not weak. She just became an immortal with the same strength as you. Long Shui said unhappily. I never thought that they would use such a method to keep the alchemist, it's too despicable. Chen Shang agreed with her. It's indeed too despicable, but I like it. HMPH, little scoundrel. Su Meiyao and Long Shui scoffed at the same time. Although I already have 2 female slaves, they are not real female slaves. This one before me, heh. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. At this time, Xiaoling gave Chen Shang a beast skin. Chen Shang opened it and saw many treaties on it. Manager Ma asked me to hand this over to you. If you think there's no problem, then sign this contract. Little Ling said. Chen Shang looked carefully at the contents of the contract and muttered, the contract with the pill sect requires one to go to the pharmacy to gather medicinal ingredients every month to refine 500 high-grade ground-level pellets. The reward is 50,000 spiritual crystals per month. Not bad. Chen Shang nodded. This is the most basic requirement. If Lord Yan can concoct 100,000 high-grade ground-level pills, you will not be bound by this contract in the future. At that time, you can leave our pill shop anytime. Little Ling said. Chen Shang still didn't quite understand, and asked, why do I have a servant? Do the other alchemists have her? As for the cost of the medicinal ingredients, one is equivalent to 50 spiritual crystal. If Lord Yan can refine 1 or 2 of the medicinal ingredients, that would be 800 spiritual crystal, and 500 spiritual crystal per month, then at the very least, we would be able to earn 150,000 spiritual crystal. The contract says that it's 100,000 spiritual crystal, so you can make a lot of spiritual crystal for us. Quote. The others don't have personal maid servants. Senior Yan was chosen by Manager Ma, so he might want to focus on cultivating you. Chen Shang rubbed his chin and asked, I can only earn 30 or 40 million spiritual crystal for you guys. In your opinion, it shouldn't be much. Chen Shang was still considering whether he should sign this contract and refine 100,000 pills to get rid of this contract. Sign it. From now on, you don't need to refine it yourself. Just hand in 500 pills every month, and it will be no big deal. Su Meiyao said. Right now, you need this place to understand the situation here. Furthermore, this little girl is not bad. When the time comes, we can take her away. At that time, if Lord Yan wants to bring me away, he can help me redeem myself. Little Ling stuck out her tongue. How much? Chen Shang asked. 10 million spiritual crystal. Little Ling laughed and said, I'm quite expensive, am I not? Chen Shang signed the contract with blood dripping onto the table. He passed it to Xiaoling and said, we'll talk about it at that time. This medicine store was extremely large and had a large amount of medicinal ingredients. To him, 500 pills per month was a small matter. He felt that he could settle this in a few days and save a lot of medicinal ingredients for himself. I'll pass it to Manager Ma. Please wait a moment, I'll be back soon. Little Ling disappeared in the blink of an eye. Her speed was extremely fast. Tens of millions of spiritual crystal can be considered a large number here, and only a few immortal kings can afford that. In the long run, they really think that you can make a huge profit for them. Su Meiyao said. Of course Chen Shang knew, but it didn't matter to him now. He just wanted a place to settle down, and then he would wait for the chance to earn some money. Manager Ma was the old man. When he saw that Chen Shang had signed the contract, he laughed. Xiaoling, he will be your master from now on. Serving him well, his future is limitless. Little Ling nodded and said, Little Ling knows. Chen Shang laid on the sleeping chair in the courtyard lazily. He did not want to move the slightest bit right now. Little Ling came back and stood behind him without saying a word. Little Ling, this medicine store doesn't seem to have a name, why is it like this? Chen Shang asked. I heard that it was because I still don't know who the 6th prince is planning to give over the pill shop to. The 6th prince has 7 children, but now the eldest young master is in charge. Little Ling said. How long have you been here? Chen Shang was very curious. Although Xiaoling looked like a girl, but she was actually an immortal. However, she was only worth millions of spiritual crystal. It's been 16 years. I was born here, but my natural talent is good, so I could become an immortal. However, that's all I can do. Although Xiaoling always had the sweet smile of a professional on her face, there was a trace of sadness on her face. Chen Shang had thought it was weird that such a good seedling would be used as a servant to serve him. There must be something fishy about it. He was forced to break through using a secret technique. This kind of thing is very normal. Many big forces train slaves like this. However, these people are all homeless orphans. Being able to do this is a pretty good fate for them. Su Meiyao said. Can you show me your body? Chen Shang asked. Ah, this, sure. Little Ling's face slightly blushed, and then she started to take off her clothes. Chen Shang anxiously shouted. Don't move, we're not looking at this, looking at the situation in your body, I want to see why you can't improve anymore. Quote. Now, Chen Shang finally understood what a real female slave meant. Get dressed and stand in front of me. Chen Shang got up from the couch and placed his palm on Xiaoling's abdomen. He wanted to see how much damage the technique would cause to her. After a moment, Chen Shang frowned. What's with the heaven pellet? Before Little Ling had even cultivated in Nirvana Doom, when I was still in the extreme realm, I had already been embedded with a heavenly pellet. After that, adding on some other secret techniques, I could perfectly fuse with the heavenly pellet, learn how to control the powers within it, and then become an immortal. Little Ling slightly smiled, but her smile was a little forced. Chen Shang had already seen the pain she had to endure at that time, even though it could make her very strong. If something goes wrong, you'll definitely die. Chen Shang said with slight anger in his heart. Yes, only I can survive in the same group as me. Little Ling slightly lowered her head, the sweet smile on her face had already disappeared. She also had feelings for them. The companions that she grew up with had all died at that time. The fatherless her was the closest companion. Long Shui said. It's very difficult for her to grow again, the heaven pellet was not cultivated by herself, these people really aren't things. I don't blame them, because without them, we would have already died. Little Ling said. However, it cannot be denied that what they did was inappropriate. They allowed your lives to continue, yet they were tormenting your lives. At that time, if you all had a choice, you all would have chosen that road. Chen Shang sighed. I don't know, but we've all enjoyed life because of this. Life was bestowed by them, so it's only right that they take it back. Xiaoling did not expect her master to be so conflicted over such a matter, she did not understand. Chen Shang sighed helplessly, and said, come out for a walk with me, it's the first time coming to this kind of place, you should be familiar with this place. Yes. Ling nodded and didn't ask any more heavy questions. She immediately revealed a sweet smile. Now, Chen Shang already knew that the sixth prince and He Feng were definitely not good people, they just looked good on the surface. Chapter 1302. Chen Shang brought Little Ling out of this pill shop and onto the streets. When he came out, he discovered that there were a few alchemists with similar servants by their side, but most of them were young and delicate. Xiaoling, why are all the servants beside the other alchemist men, while you are female? There aren't many cute and beautiful girls like you, right? Chen Shang was walking on the road, with Xiaoling following closely behind him. Little Ling said in a low voice, Master Yan, in fact. The other alchemists do not want me, they think me to be a little girl and can't help them much, but they need a very capable assistant when they are refining pills, that way they can refine the pills quickly and save a lot of trouble. Quote. Just call me Big Brother. Chen Shang laughed. Those alchemists are too useless, they also need other people's help in pill refining. Xiaoling was a little surprised and said, for the past 2 years, Manager Ma had pushed me onto a dozen or so alchemists, but those alchemists had immediately let me go. It's useless to say me out. Ignore them. They are useless. To think that they would want the help of someone else for their pill forging. It is just a small matter. Chen Shang was extremely disdainful. In his opinion, for such a good girl to be looked down upon, those people must be blind. Big Brother Yan, where are you going? Don't you want to concoct pills? Little Ling asked. In her eyes, many alchemists were very busy, they would need to spend at least half of the day concocting pills. This was because she had heard from the young servants that they were very tired after all the hard work they did with the alchemists. What's the hurry? We'll talk about it at the end of the month. When Chen Shang came out, Manager Ma had given him 50,000 spiritual crystal. Xiaoling, where are the alchemists located? In the central region, it would be best if we could see some high-level alchemist sparring. This was the Myriad Dan Immortal country. Although Chen Shang could see quite a few alchemists south on the road, most of them were not that good. He wanted to see those with better standards. Myriad Dan building, I will bring you there right away. Inside, there are many Dan King that compete in pill refining all day, it's very lively. Manager Ma once brought me there. Little Ling smiled sweetly. Chen Shang followed Xiaoling to the Myriad Dan building. This myriad Dan building only had 5 floors, but every floor was as big as a plaza. Upon entering, he saw that there were many people in the spacious hall. The medicinal fragrance was also very rich and had all kinds of medicinal fragrance. So many people, what are they doing? Chen Shang saw that there were a lot of people gathered around. They are all watching others refine pills. There are many famous alchemists here, and they will often be refining pills in public for others to see. Xiaoling replied, this is the first floor, which is of the lowest grade, the highest being the 4th, and the 5th floor is the territory of the Dan King. Furthermore, ordinary people cannot go there. Chen Shang could smell the scent of the medicine, and knew what kind of pills the majority of the people here were. What's that? Chen Shang saw a counter. There was an old man there. People would go over from time to time. Some people who have their own ingredients and need the alchemist to refine them would come here to look for famous alchemists. Many of them are of decent standard, but they lack practice or are all alchemists who want to show off their skills in refining pills. Is anyone allowed to go and get it? Chen Shang asked again. No, only the famous alchemist can receive it, and only after refining it will you get paid. Little Ling shook her head. Chen Shang and Xiaoling arrived at the 3rd floor in one breath. There were quite a few people here who were concocting high-quality pills of the ground level. Coming here, Xiaoling seemed to have seen someone she recognized, and quickly hid behind Chen Shang, afraid that he would be recognized. Isn't she the little girl from the 6th shop? She actually has an owner. A young man dressed in red walked over and looked at Little Ling evilly. The young man also had a follower behind him. One of them was a middle-aged man with strong cultivation, late period of human immortal, and the other 2 were young servants. Chen Shang pulled Xiaoling towards an alchemist who was refining pills. There were fewer people watching, and there was no need to squeeze in. Oh, this little girl's master is not bad, huh? She can actually be so calm. The red-clothed youth teased and actually followed him. Big brother Yan, that's why he was so jealous of me the other time. He's one of the first prince's sons, a grandson of the king, and his name is He Hong. You should hurry back to the shop. Xiaoling told Chen Shang through sound transmission. No, just ignore him. What bullshit Ti Wang's son? Chen Shang was not afraid. The son of Dragon Emperor was still eaten by him. He was afraid of this guy. Chen Shang came to the side of the stall that was refining pills, and many people surrounded and watched quietly. Xiaoling said in a low voice. This is Elder Uncle Li, he has great achievements in refining high-grade ground-level pills. When we competed to refine high-grade ground-level pills, he took first place before. Once the He Hong came, the others all made way for him. This was a Wang's son, who always wore red clothes, and was a regular customer of the Myriad Dan building. He always made the alchemist in his shop come here and gamble with others. He always made them lose miserably, so many of them always hid far away when they saw that they had lost. The He Hong had come, but Chen Shang did not even move his head a bit. He did not even look at him, but only held onto Xiaoling's hand, and watched the Elder Uncle Li concoct pills. Why is it that there are so few people who are looking at Elder Uncle Li refining pills? There should be a lot of them, right? Chen Shang asked. The other alchemists were all surrounded, but this Elder Uncle Li who had such powerful pill refining skills was not surrounded by many. Elder Uncle Li had a head full of white hair. His beard and eyebrows were completely white, but his face did not have any wrinkles, and he did not look very old. Because he sometimes doesn't concoct pills, but sleeps. His pill furnace is very strange and doesn't emit any heat. That's why it's hard to see what happens when he concocts pills. Maybe he's sleeping right now. The He Hong was also by the side, giving her a lot of pressure. She was worried that she would cause trouble for Chen Shang. The Elder Uncle Li had his eyes closed as he sat on the ground with his legs crossed, breathing slowly. He really did look like he was sleeping, and if he was observing from the sidelines for a day or 2 and discovered that he was sleeping instead of concocting pills, it would definitely be very deceptive. Little girl, this is your new master. Since old man Ma has arranged a personal maid for him, it seems that his pill refining level is not bad, right? This is an alchemist who just joined the 6th shop. I really want to see how he is. The He Hong's words attracted a few people. The 6th shop was the one that Chen Shang had just joined. Because it was owned by the 6th prince and had no name, it was named after him. Many people here knew that for the alchemist in the number 6 shop, having a servant meant that they were valued highly. To be able to bring great benefits to the number 6 shop, it was a very good alchemist. Chapter 1303. Although Chen Shang heard the He Hong's words, he did not pay any attention to it. He focused on the elder Uncle Lee's pill furnace. The furnace was truly powerful. At the beginning he thought that the elder Uncle Lee was just lying down, but upon closer inspection, he realized that he was really concocting pills. But the condition of the elder Uncle Lee was very strange. It was like he was in a half-asleep state. If he could concoct pills in this state, it would be too amazing. Sister Meiyao, do you recognize this pill furnace? Chen Shang asked. This kind of pill furnace should have some background. I don't know him, but this old man is very powerful. He's not an ordinary alchemist. Su Meiyao also noticed it. It's about to form the core. Chen Shang felt a weak change in the pill furnace, and thought. Xiaoling did not bother with the He Hong, as Chen Shang had told her to ignore him. At the moment, she was still nervous as she held Chen Zhang's big hand tightly and looked at the elder Uncle Lee that seemed to be dead. Little girl, didn't you and your master hear what I said? The He Hong frowned slightly. There was actually someone who looked down on him. Even if the sixth shop's manager Ma came, he would have to smile at him. Chen Shang was currently frowning as he looked at the elder Uncle Lee earnestly. He casually replied, I heard. The He Hong was a little angry because Chen Shang didn't even look at him. What are you pretending for? Are you afraid? You purposely looked at the old sleeping bug concocting pills and pretended that you could see something. It seems like you are trying to escape. The alchemist that was just hired by number 6 shop is only mediocre. The He Hong sneered. Say what you like. However, elder Uncle Lee is indeed powerful. He was almost able to condense the pill successfully, but I wonder what pill he is refining. It is not something that is commonly seen. Chen Shang muttered, making some people confused, because after looking at it for a long time, he still could not see through it. Acting arrogantly, just as the He Hong finished speaking, the elder Uncle Lee opened his eyes and opened the lid of the pill furnace. Just as the lid was slightly ajar, the red light shot out and disappeared. I failed. Elder Uncle Lee sighed. Everyone was shocked, because what Chen Shang said was true, but elder Uncle Lee did not succeed in concocting the core, causing the people around him to be respectful towards him. Someone who could see through the mysteries of elder Uncle Lee must also be very powerful. Elder Uncle Lee, what pill is this? An old man asked. Although he looked older than elder Uncle Lee, he still addressed him like that. The elder Uncle Lee swept his gaze across the crowd. At this time, there were more and more people here, partly because the He Hong was challenging them, and partly because elder Uncle Lee was asleep for a few days. Finally, he opened the lid of the pill furnace. Guess. Elder Uncle Lee laughed out loud. Guess your head. If I knew, would I even need to ask you? The old man immediately said. Although he was usually arrogant, he was not stupid. He knew that the elder Uncle Lee was very powerful and that his first shop wanted to win over the elder Uncle Lee, but it was to no avail. However, he still wanted to continue challenging Chen Shang so he could see what level the new alchemist at the 6th shop had reached. It's the heaven blood pill. Chen Shang said, but you could tell from what happened just now. Have you ever refined one before? Or have you seen someone refine one, or have you heard of one? Elder Uncle Lee looked at Chen Shang in shock. The others were puzzled, and the He Hong did the same. He quickly took out a jade and called down their number 1 shop's alchemist from the 4th floor's 5th floor. The name, Heaven Blood Pill, was easy to understand. It should be related to blood, but many people had never heard of it. If Su Meiyao had not said so, Chen Shang himself would not know what pill this elder Uncle Lee was refining just now. Chen Shang smiled slightly. I have only heard that there is a type of pill that would cause blood light to soar into the sky after condensing a pill. Its main function is to produce a very powerful blood, so it should be considered a middle-grade heaven-level pill. Everyone was stunned. Elder Uncle Lee was actually refining a middle-grade heaven-level pill, then he should have rolled to the 4th and 5th floor. That was a place for him to stay. Do you still have any medicinal materials for the heaven blood pill? The He Hong quickly asked. I am willing to buy it at a high price. No more. Then, he threw a large pile of medicinal ingredients into the pill furnace, closed the lid and continued to concoct pills with his eyes closed. At this time, a few old men came to the He Hong's side. They were all from alchemist, and came down from the 4th floor to the 5th floor. One could imagine their level of alchemy. After Xiaoling discovered this, she lightly pulled on Chen Zhang's hand, indicating him to quickly leave. Chen Shang did not want Xiaoling to worry either and walked out from the crowd of people, but he was stopped by the He Hong in front of her. Alchemist of the number 6 store, this is your first time here, right? This is your first time here. I'm sure you have some skill. If you don't make it past 1 or 2 batches, you might not be able to make it out alive. The He Hong said with a smile that did not reach his eyes. Seventh young master, Big Brother Yan is going back to rest. He joined the sixth shop today and has already made a few batches of pills. He's just out for a walk. Xiaoling also did not wish for Chen Xiang to bet with the He Hong, because there would usually be no good results. What are you talking about? Is there anywhere to talk? The He Hong said coldly. So you're the one who opened this place. Whether or not you can speak will depend on your expression. In that case, you are the one who should decide whether or not to bet pill refining here. What else can we do? Let's go. Chen Xiang pulled Xiaoling, and just as he took a step forward, he was stopped by the middle-aged man. If he did not have to hide here, Chen Xiang would not have such a good temper. If they were to be together, those who were intentionally blocking his way, he would definitely make them lie down. There were quite a lot of alchemists who were forced by He Hong to make a bet. Everyone was already used to this kind of thing, and it was also something many people were looking forward to. Won't you leave? Chen Zhang's tone became much colder. This little girl has talked back to me before. You can leave, but she has to stay. The He Hong glanced at Xiaoling viciously. If you lose, don't lose anything. Just respectfully call me young master, and if I lose, you can have 100,000 spiritual crystal. Ling Chen, the He Hong said, this should be very worthwhile. The He Hong did not lack spiritual crystal but it was very boring. Most of these young masters were like this, always looking for existence and acting tyrannically. Chen Xiang laughed coldly, not interesting at all. After all, it was just a furnace of pills. However, Chen Xiang felt that if he wanted to play with this kind of fellow, he had to play big ones and make him lose even more miserably so that he could remember this name. Not enough. The He Hong suddenly laughed. Someone actually dares to play big with me, then you must at least see how big of a bet you have. Chen Xiang also laughed out loud. Do you dare to play with your life? Chapter 1304. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. He actually wanted to gamble his life. Everyone thought that Chen Xiang was joking, but it didn't seem like it. Hearing that he was going to play with his life, the He Hong could not laugh anymore. It only frowned and glared at Chen Xiang, because it really did not dare to play. Who do you think you are? What right do you have to risk your life and fight with seventh young master? With your life, are you even worthy? An old man beside the He Hong said in a hurry. Chen Xiang laughed coldly. Fine, if you want to compete with me in refining pills, then kill yourself. Your seventh young master should be very happy, because the one dying is not him, it's just a dog slave beside him, it doesn't matter how many he dies. However, she could tell from Chen Zhang's words and actions that this, Big Brother Yan, in front of her was extraordinary to actually dare to speak to this He Hong in such a manner. At this time, the elder Uncle Li that everyone had forgotten about suddenly spoke up. I also think gambling with one's life is more fun. If you lose, you wouldn't be afraid of losing, because you don't have your life, you wouldn't be afraid of anything. The He Hong gritted his teeth, of course he did not dare to casually decide such a thing. Although he had many good alchemists with him, if he were to kill one of them, his father the prince would definitely punish him. If you don't dare to play, then get out of the way. Chen Xiang knew that this group of fellows would be like this. They were previously so arrogant, but now that they talked about putting their lives on the line, all of them shrunk. This is just an ordinary spar, there's no need for it to be so extreme, right? If you win, you will gain even more benefits. If you win, other people will die, but you won't be able to obtain anything of your own. The old man beside the He Hong said. Chen Xiang said, as long as I am happy, I do not wish to win anything good from you guys. He actually dared to look down on Wang Sun. Everyone was secretly looking forward to the day when both sides would come up with something powerful. What you're saying is that you want to play big, right? Then we'll have to see what kind of bet you have. Your life isn't worth much in my eyes. Bring out some meaningful items. This was the first time that He Hong had met such a person. He could tell that Chen Xiang was very confident. You can help Xiaoling ransom her body from the sixth shop. You should know how many spiritual crystals are needed. Chen Xiang said. 10 million spiritual crystal. The He Hong secretly took a deep breath. This was indeed too big, even if it was just 1 million spiritual crystal, for someone like him, as Wang Sun, it was still heavy. If it was used to buy something, it would be alright, since the things they bought would work, but if they lost, it was equivalent to throwing them away. Little Ling bit her lips. Chen Shang wanting to redeem her body moved her a lot, but she didn't think that Chen Shang needed to spend so many spiritual crystals for her. Then you have to have at least 10 million spiritual crystal. Don't leave empty-handed, the He Hong said, but right after he finished speaking, he regretted it, because once Chen Shang took out 10 million spiritual crystal, if he did not gamble, then others would definitely laugh at him. Everyone knew that the He Hong had no way to dismount and had kicked the metal board. That's enough. Chen Shang took out a pearl which contained a small cluster of red flames. Everyone's heart was thumping hard, because this was a fire soul, and although it was the lowest level red fire soul, it was still extremely precious. Someone actually used this thing to make a bet, and this made many people want to jump out and compare themselves to Chen Shang. If it's the red fire soul, I'm afraid that even tens of millions of spiritual crystal would not be able to buy it. Elder Uncle Li was also surprised. Someone actually threw out such a thing casually. It was very precious, although there were many people with fire soul in heaven realm, but very few people took it out to sell, let alone gamble. Chen Shang did not lack fire soul. As long as the fire divine palace was not destroyed, he would have a lot of opportunities in the future to get even better fire soul, and this red fire soul was nothing in his eyes. The He Hong stood there in a daze, unable to speak. He only wanted to leave this Myriad Dan building right now, because he couldn't afford to play. 10 million spiritual crystal gave him a lot of pressure. The He Hong was sweating profusely. Looking at his appearance, many people were gloating secretly in their hearts. The normally overbearing He Hong was now forced to such a state. If we bet with him, wouldn't we have millions of spiritual crystal? A gentle voice suddenly sounded. The He Hong was relieved and quickly turned to look at a middle-aged man who was slowly walking over. Late-stage immortal monarch, Long Shui said. The He Hong's face revealed a smile. Big brother, why are you here? He is the big brother of the He Hong, the eldest grandson of the immortal king of Myriad Dan immortal country. His name is He Tang and he is very powerful. Xiao Ling transmitted to Chen Shang. To be able to take charge of the first shop, 10 million spiritual crystal were indeed nothing. Seeing that He Tang had arrived, a few alchemists bowed to him. Although He Tang looked like a middle-aged man, he looked very lively and lively. He looked very young, and the aura he emitted was very similar to that of He Feng from before. I also want to see how powerful the new alchemist from number 6 shop is, to actually dare to take out the fire soul to gamble. This is probably the first time in the heaven realm. He Tang smiled. I will decide on the rules. Chen Shang said. No problem, please speak. He Tang was very polite. To refine a Qi Shen Dan, the winner will be decided in a single pot. The most pills will be produced, and the highest quality will be. The fastest is the winner. Chen Shang said indifferently. This Qi Shen Dan was a middle-grade ground-level pill, and was also one of the fastest pills that he could refine. Just a middle ground level. Can it be higher? He Tang replied. It's too easy, there's no meaning. Relive Dan S. This kind of pill has the most extensive uses. It will sell the best, which is something that everyone is familiar with. When the time comes, everyone will witness the victory or defeat. Chen Shang continued. Actually, my level is only that of a high-grade ground-level pellet. In order to be more fair, during the competition, he would use some common pill furnaces to buy one spiritual crystal from the counter. This would test the standards of the alchemist. He did not expect that the moment Chen Shang joined the 6th store, he would come here to have a bet with someone, but when he heard that it was a competition to refine a Relive Dan, he immediately heaved a sigh of relief. He had personally seen Chen Zhang's refining level before, and it was very impressive. The Relive Dan, right. This is the medicinal herb. Manager Ma hastily took out a high-quality medicine and said, you should have the supplementary medicine. Don't lose. If you win, the 6th king might summon you. If he won 10 million spiritual crystal from store number 1, it would definitely cause quite a sensation. This was also a contest between store number 1 and number 6. Since he was not using Chen Zhang's name, Chen Shang was not afraid of drawing attention to himself now. He felt that it would be better this way, maybe he could get closer to the imperial palace. If he could enter, maybe he could better understand the current situation. Chapter 1305, Manager Ma really wished for Chen Shang to win. If that was the case, then it would mean that the 6th shop was stronger than the 1st shop, which also meant that the 6th shop could attract stronger alchemists. Master Yan, if you win, then Little Ling will be yours from now on. You don't need to use 10 million spiritual crystal to redeem her, I can make that decision. This will help the sixth shop vent, Manager Ma told Chen Shang through sound transmission. Right now, the battle for the throne was a contest of strength in all aspects, and the pill shop was also more important. A small victory here could let many see the sixth prince win by a sliver, and let many know how to stand in a line. That's what you said. Alright, I will definitely win. Chen Shang was processing the Relive Dan's medicinal ingredients, white jade lotus seed, returning herb. He was extremely familiar with these herbs and could make them very good with his eyes closed. The alchemist that He Hong He Tang had sent out came from the fourth, and fifth floor. Even though he was an old man, Chen Shang could tell from the whispers of the surrounding people that this old man was a Dan King who could refine heaven-level pills. Grand Master Zhang is a Dan King. He is ranked amongst the top-grade ground-level pills. Who knows how many Relive Dan he has successfully refined. It's more than enough to defeat him. The He Hong sneered. The two normal pill furnaces were placed, and everyone began to inspect them. These were the rules for the competition within the Myriad Dan building, and after there were no problems, they returned to Chen Shang and Master Zhang. Little scoundrel, don't look down on alchemist. This place is a crouching tiger and hidden dragon. My little master had said many times before that there are many powerful alchemists hidden inside this Myriad Dan immortal country. Be careful. Although she knew that Chen Shang would not be arrogant, she still hoped that Chen Shang would bring out his strongest power. I know. Chen Shang was very calm at the moment. He would always be like this during competitions, not affecting his pill refining state because of anything else. Are you still planning to use the foreseeing alchemy? These old fellows will definitely be more proficient in using the foreseeing alchemy than you are, if they can also refine the same number and quality of Relive Dan, and if the time is slightly faster than yours, you will lose. This is Heaven Realm. The other party has such confidence in winning, so they will definitely not send out ordinary alchemist. Bai Yu said, although she did not know how to refine pills, but she did understand a lot of these things. I know what to do. Chen Shang placed the main ingredient and the secondary ingredient into the furnace. On this point, he was slower than the other party, so some people already thought that he would lose. If it was an alchemist of the same level, time would be the key to determining the victor. He really is powerful. Chen Shang could feel the rapid and steady change in the other party's pill furnace, and was secretly surprised. This kind of alchemist was even stronger than what he had encountered in the sacred Dan realm. Some nodded their heads in praise of Master Zhang. The furnace was operating smoothly and quickly. The fact that the main ingredients could be quickly refined showed that the pill condensation process was extremely fast and the quality was also very high. In comparison, what made people more suspicious was that the fire inside Chen Zhang's pill furnace was chaotic. It was not at the level of an alchemist that was favored by others, causing them to furrow their brows. It's just my mouth. The fire soul is ours. The He Hong laughed contemptuously. If Chen Shang lost, the sixth shop would lose its face. One must know that there were very few matches between the prince's shops, but if they fought, one would have to have absolute confidence in winning, otherwise, they would be ridiculed for a very long time by the other party. What's wrong with this guy? Just a moment ago, I thought he was very powerful, so why is there such a mess inside the pill furnace? That's right, my disciples are all better at controlling them than him. Whether he is crazy or not, with this level, he can take out the fire soul and make a bet. Is the sixth shop blind? Even an alchemist like this can have a maid. He had seen Chen Shang refine Relive Dan before, but now, Chen Shang did not have the same level of strength as before. This made him feel that Chen Shang was not performing well, probably because of the pressure of winning or losing. Just as everyone was discussing amongst themselves, Elder Uncle Li, who was left out by someone else, actually kept his pill furnace and squeezed into the crowd to watch. It was said that many shops had offered generous conditions to recruit him, but he did not go. Furthermore, in some of the competitions, he would often obtain a high ranking, and could be said to be one of the more authoritative figures in the Myriad Dan building. Elder Uncle Li, what do you think? One of them asked. This Elder Uncle Li was good at concocting pills, but he did not put on any airs. You're asking me who will win, right? The Elder Uncle Li asked. Yeah, from your experience, who would win? The man asked again. Elder Uncle Li frowned as he looked at Chen Zhang's pill furnace. The change inside was also beyond his expectations. Previously, when Chen Shang could tell that he had concocted the Heaven Blood pill and also saw the activity inside his furnace, it meant that his skill was not bad. Elder Uncle Li did not believe that Chen Shang could only reach that level. He did not answer that person, and carefully felt the changes in Chen Zhang's pill furnace. The reason why the furnace was so unstable when Chen Shang was refining the pills was because he did not use the foreseeing alchemy but rather the god purification. He had already used his powerful god power to divide the medicinal ingredients into several areas, including a region for the supporting medicinal ingredients and a region for the other main medicinal ingredients. After dividing them, he then used the god purification's method to quickly melt the main medicinal ingredients into medicinal powder and medicine aura. In the past, when he was refining the Hunyuan Dan, he did it on top of his palm, which made it easier to control. Now that he was in the pill furnace, it was a little difficult, but this was a superior grade ground level pill, and he was very knowledgeable about the Relive Dan's ingredients. The god purification was precisely to use a strong spiritual energy and an extremely strong flame to burn down the stubborn spirit within the medicinal herbs, and to refine it, one would need to use the profound and mysterious incantations contained within the heavenly alchemy in order to succeed. Weird. This little brother uses a strong flame to burn medicinal ingredients when he's refining pills. This is a taboo in refining pills. Under normal circumstances, it would have exploded a long time ago, but it's very stable. The elder Uncle Li muttered. That's right, the hot air that Chen Shang was giving off was like this. Normally when he was refining pills, burning a lot of ingredients was taboo. Then we have won. The fire was so fierce from the start, the spiritual energy in the herbs will be destroyed. The He Hong was now even more confident. Looking at its excited expression, it was as if it had already obtained the fire soul. Chapter 1306. There were many people pointing fingers at them and talking about things that would affect their mood, but Chen Shang remained unmoved. He had already entered a very stable state, and before long, he would be able to refine all of the main ingredients. That fellow called Elder Uncle Li is quite powerful. He can actually sense the changes in your furnace. However, he shouldn't be able to tell what exactly happened. Su Meiyao did not expect Chen Shang to actually use the god purification at the beginning. She now knew that the god purification could also be used this way. Although it would consume a bit more energy, it was still possible to use it to refine Relive Dan. Chen Shang opened his eyes and looked at Master Zhang. He was very surprised, because the Master Zhang was extremely fast, and according to his estimation, maybe Master Zhang could even refine to Relive Dan. While concocting the pills, he was still observing his opponent, causing many people to be unable to understand what Chen Shang was doing, and to not be alarmed at all. This old man is very powerful. I never thought that the entire refining level of the heaven realm has improved by so much over the years. Bai Yuyu said. Maybe because of the increasing number of herbs, in the past, it would take alchemists who knows how many years to refine a batch of higher-leveled pills, but now it's different. Just by using an array formation, one can quickly grow a large number of pills that have a lot of uses, like the Relive Dan, which requires even more to refine. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang closed his eyes, took in a small breath, and said to himself, I'm going to start condensing the cores. In that moment, a huge change occurred in Chen Zhang's pill furnace, because he had refined all the main ingredients at the same time, causing the pressure in the pill furnace to decrease by a lot, and the fire intensity to decrease quickly. Chen Shang moved all the partitioned areas within the pill furnace away, allowing all the medicine aura S and medicinal powder to fuse together and release his divine power. It created an extremely strong pressure and made everything inside into a ball. How many pills can it be? Can it be 4? Su Meiyao asked. The limit for Chen Shang to refine Relive Dan S was 3 pellets, but 4 would be extremely difficult, because there were only those that had the spirit energy needed to refine all of the herbs. If she divided the ingredients into 4 parts, it would cause the medicine aura and the medicinal powder to be insufficient, making it unable to condense the Relive Dan into a pellet. Su Meiyao was clear about this fact, but she knew that Chen Shang would always be able to create miracles. Sure, Chen Shang agreed, and then he split the ball of air into 4 parts. If I use the foreseeing alchemy, during the process of refinement, I will slowly consume a portion of the medicine aura, and if I use the god purification, I will cleanly refine the medicinal ingredients. The medicine aura and medicinal powders will not leak out, so condensing 4 pellets is not a problem. Chen Shang said confidently. The change in Chen Zhang's pill furnace could be felt by everyone. The berserk fire chi that suddenly disappeared, became very stable, but it was too stable. This was not a pill condensation, because when pill condensation took place, the pill furnace was the most unstable, it would produce a weak tremble. When Elder Uncle Li felt that Chen Zhang's furnace had suddenly split into 4 parts, He opened his eyes wide, but quickly returned to his original state, but his heart was still in turmoil. Just then, Master Zong's pill furnace started shaking. Using such a low-quality furnace to refine pills, it was normal for something like this to happen in Danking. No one was surprised by Master Zong's pill refining speed. Right now, Master Zong was already preparing for the pill refining process, and it wouldn't be long before he would produce one. As for Chen Shang, he had only entered into a stable state. Everyone believed that he had only just begun stabilizing the situation inside the pill furnace. Xiaoling watched from the side. She had a certain understanding of pill refining too. She bit her lower lip, worried that Chen Shang would lose the fire soul. It was a very precious thing. She did not want Chen Shang to lose the precious fire soul because of her. Just as everyone was focusing their attention on Master Zhang, unexpectedly, Chen Shang suddenly opened his eyes, sighed, and said, "I'm done." The always calm Master Zhang was originally secretly happy in his heart and even mocked Chen Shang a little. But when he heard Chen Zhang's words, he immediately opened his eyes and looked at Chen Shang. Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, Chen Shang stood up, stretched his body and said, "In the end, I still need to request for a more authoritative person to confirm the matter. I don't want others to think that I am cheating. Elder Uncle Li, what are you waiting for? Go up and take a look." A person asked. Many people could not believe that Chen Shang had succeeded. The speed was too fast, and too sudden, even Master Zhang would need some time to condense a pill. The He Hong stopped talking and clenched its teeth as it watched. He Tang said, "Elder Uncle Li, I'll be troubling you." Elder Uncle Li took a deep breath, looked at Chen Shang and said, "I never thought that refining pills is not just a method." When everyone saw Elder Uncle Li say this, they knew that Chen Shang was definitely not an ordinary fellow. He did not use any normal refining method when he was refining the pill, but other than that, was there any other method? Everyone was shocked, and if what Elder Uncle Li said was true, then Chen Zhang's refining method was different from theirs. Elder Uncle Li opened the lid of the pill furnace and a faint mist of light emitted from inside. The mist surged out and a medicinal fragrance wafted in the air. "Hi," Chen Shang sighed softly. Elder Uncle Li took out 4 relive Dan-s from the furnace and said, "Why are you sighing? Are you not satisfied with this result?" Looking at the 4 relive Dan in Elder Uncle Li's hands, everyone was shocked. They stared at the relive Dan in Elder Uncle Li's hands in disbelief. Impossible, this was what everyone immediately thought of, because looking at the relive Dan's medicinal ingredients, the limit was still 3 pills. Furthermore, that was something that could only be refined by the very powerful alchemist, while this simple and honest middle-aged man in front of them had 4 pills, which had already exceeded that limit, a limit that was absolutely impossible to break through. "I've lost." After the silence lasted for a while, Master Zhang sighed. His pill furnace also shook a little. Obviously, he had given up on concocting pills and had no intention of continuing. Millions of spiritual crystal, take it. If he lost, then He Tang would throw a storage bag to Chen Shang, and leave with the He Hong with a face filled with unwillingness and doubt. Impossible, he cheated. The maximum number of pills the relive Dan's main ingredient can produce is 3. This is something the Dan Immortal told me a long time ago. It's impossible for him to produce such a pill. The He Hong shouted. He was not willing to admit defeat. Chapter 1307. Elder Uncle Li passed 4 relive Dan pills to He Tang and the others, saying, "You can take a look for yourselves." There's no need to look. He Tang was very calm. Even though he was shocked, he did not suspect. The reason why 3 pellets came out is because of the conclusion given by the foreseeing alchemy, but this little brother did not use the foreseeing alchemy. I think he used the most direct and fastest way to refine the ingredients, and that can indeed reduce the loss of medicine or s. If we are serious, 4 pellets is not a problem. Elder Uncle Li said. He was also surprised in his heart. This pill refining technique must be very powerful, but he knew that it was not easy to master. "Let's go." He Tang pulled the He Hong and left. Everyone originally wanted to chat a bit more with Chen Shang, but Ma Dong anxiously brought Chen Shang and Xiaoling away. "Come often when you have time." This is what the Elder Uncle Li said to Chen Shang. Chen Shang knew that the Elder Uncle Li was a guy that hid his strength, and instantly saw through many things. "Master Yan, don't go out during this period of time. Stay here, I'll go inform the young master." Manager Ma brought Chen Shang back to the shop and arranged for a few experts to protect Chen Shang. "Then what about little Ling?" Chen Shang looked at Xiaoling and asked. "From now on, she is yours. This is her blood contract." Manager Ma threw a beast skin piece to Chen Shang and quickly left. Chen Shang brought little Ling back to his own house and then gave her the blood contract. He said with a smile, "From now on, you are free to go." Thank you, Big Brother Yan." Little Ling's eyes were red as she put away the blood contract. "I will definitely serve Big Brother Yan well from now on, for the rest of my life. Little girl, you don't have to follow me in the future. You can do whatever you want to do. It's not fun to follow me, you might even get chased down." Chen Shang smiled as he pinched her exquisite face. "I'm not afraid." A sweet smile appeared on Xiao Ling's face again. However, this was the smile that came from her heart, not the stiff and emotionless professional smile from before. Little Ling is so brave. Chen Shang also knew that this little girl had no relatives or reasons. He didn't want her to feel lonely, so he wouldn't reject her at the moment. "Big Brother Yan, you're really amazing. Your pill refining level is already considered very strong in Myriad Dan Immortal country. Even the geniuses that the princes were proud of are not as good as you." Little Ling said. "Little Ling, do you have a surname?" Chen Shang caressed her head and asked lovingly. "Nope." Little Ling shook her head. "Then from now on, I will be surnamed Shen." Chen Shang smiled. "Why should I be surnamed Shen? Can't I be surnamed Yan with Big Brother Yan's surname? You'll know in the future. Don't ask now." Chen Shang took out a spirit fruit for her to eat. This was given to her by Long Shui, and it was rare for her to be so generous. "I'll be Shen Lingling from now on." "Big Brother Yan, are you saying that you're my big brother?" Shen Lingling was currently very happy. Although her own identity was very lowly, this Big Brother Yan was very good to her. In her eyes, he was a good person. "Yes, I have 2 younger sisters. From now on, we are family," Chen Shang said in a low voice. "Don't tell this to anyone else." Chen Shang had treated her so well, but he just felt pity for her. Furthermore, they were fated to meet, and what he had done was very simple, to make Shen Lingling, who had lived in this cruel world since he was young, feel warmth. Seeing Shen Lingling happily dancing in the courtyard, Chen Shang felt extremely happy in his heart. Is there any way for her to continue to raise her strength? Even though she's a worldly immortal, her foundation is very weak, and her innate chi is very weak. I guess her cultivation technique is not that good. Chen Shang asked Long Shui and the others. If it was our previous peak strength, we might have been able to help her. But now, it's very difficult. Even if we use immortal pills, we would still need high-grade ones. Su Meiyao said. Is now a dragon king, and she should have already stepped into the divine way. At that time, she will cultivate out a twin dragon pearl and let Long Huishan give her a dragon pearl. It won't hurt Long Huishan at all, she can still condense one more dragon pearl. Long Shui said, if my cultivation is sufficient, I can give it to her. Dragon beads can be used in this way. Then wouldn't it be fine if I go kill the holy dragon now? Chen Shang said. This won't do, those dragon pearls are useless. First of all, it's a man, and that's a young dragon pearl. Moreover, that dragon bead would not be willing to fuse with this little girl. Only those dragon beads that it willingly gives out will be useful. Long Shui said. Chen Shang said, after I finish what I have to do here, I will go and find Big Sis Long and help me to the end. Now that the sacred Dan realm had fused with the heaven realm, it would be much easier for Chen Shang to find Long Huishan. Furthermore, Du Hai was also here, he hoped that he would be able to find the Dan Immortal at that time. Master Yan, there's a very slovenly old man outside who wishes to meet you. He said that he and your master are friends, and that his strength is not bad at all, a guard shouted from the doorway. At first, Chen Shang suspected who this old man was, but after he thought about it for a moment, he knew that this slovenly old man was definitely his master, Huang Jintian. Give him some clothes. Tell him to come see me after he takes a shower and changes. You have to be polite with him. Chen Shang said. He was now a master, and the fact that he had been defeated by number 1 shop was already known to everyone, his status was incomparably respected. After Huang Jintian was cleaned up, he had a rather expert appearance. When he heard the news that came from the Myriad Dan building, he immediately guessed that it was his enchanter disciple and rushed over to eat and drink. Little guy, you're amazing. Huang Jintian laughed out loud. If he did not see Shen Lingling here, he would definitely laugh crazily. Seeing Chen Zhang's sullen face, Huang Jintian patted his shoulder and said, I'll be staying here for a while, I don't need you to take out anything to eat or drink, this 6th shop will definitely treat me like a lord, don't worry, I won't take any of your 10 million spiritual crystal. Chen Shang said. Those 10 million spiritual crystal have helped Xiaoling to redeem herself. Huang Jintian looked at Xiaoling and laughed sinisterly. You brat, there's a bunch of women waiting for you in the human king's immortal palace. Old Yellow, how are they now? Chen Shang asked anxiously. Cough cough, little girl brought her 2 disciples with her parents, and Hua Shangyu brought her disciple to the hundreds of flowers immortal country. Chen Shang asked again, then, where's Dongfang Xinyue? Quote. This blacksmith girl is yours too. Huang Jintian was a little surprised. She took Dongfang Jing to other places. She said that there is a connection between that place and her Dongfang family. Oh right, this Dongfang Jing said that she is your little sister, and you have quite a few little sisters. Huang Jintian joked. Chen Shang glanced at Xiaoling, and said, this is also my little sister, don't go crazy in front of her. Oh, alright, make the arrangements. I will be by your side in the future, and also investigate the matters in the palace. There is no news from there, and it will not be easy to enter. Huang Jintian said. Chapter 1308. Although there were many people who had discussed the matter of Imperial Dragon Clan coming to the Myriad Dan immortal country, there was no important news. It was clear that they were all in the strict palace and not a single piece of information could be spread out. Then you will be my personal follower from now on. Chen Shang thought, and decided to arrange Huang Jintian like this. Can't you be a bit more advanced? Huang Jintian was a little unwilling. Too high level, others will suspect you. This is better, Chen Shang said. Huang Jintian could only agree because he didn't need to sleep on the street all day as he ate and drank with Chen Shang. Manager Ma returned very quickly. When he came in and saw Huang Jintian, he said, this must be your master's friend. I don't know how to address him. Just call me Old Yellow. In order to not let others know who he was, Huang Jintian had changed his appearance slightly. He was Chen Zhang's master, had control of the Taiji dragon suppressed Kung Fu, and was a figure that many great powers paid more attention to. Manager Ma, he's a distant relative of my master. If I let him be my follower, can I make it easier for him to enter and leave this place? Sometimes I can get him to do something for me. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang had done a great deed and made him look even more proud. The 6th prince had even exaggerated his good taste and recruited such a powerful alchemist. Huang Jintian also got a job here, so he was quite satisfied with being able to receive the spiritual crystal. In 2 days, the 6th prince will come over. If you perform well and get the attention of the 6th prince, maybe you will be able to enter the palace. I will give you some information. The old immortal king is about to leave Myriad Dan immortal country, and at that time, the 7 princes will engage in an intense battle. Manager Ma said in a low voice. Was of course very willing to enter the palace, and he also sent a sound transmission to Huang Jintian, telling him to do his best to enter the palace to investigate the situation and understand the strength of the Emperor Dragons. I will definitely perform well when the time comes. Chen Shang nodded. After Manager Ma left, Huang Jintian burst out laughing. At this time, Shen Lingling ran over and asked Huang Jintian curiously what was laughing at. Little Ling, don't worry about him. There's something wrong with his head. Chen Shang said as he pulled Shen Lingling over. He was currently considering how to make the arrangements for Shen Lingling, and when he enters the palace, he could not bring Shen Lingling in. Big brother Yan, your alchemy skills are so strong. When the time comes, you will definitely receive important treatment from the 6th prince. Who knows, you might even be able to enter that palace. Shen Lingling said somewhat excitedly. Yes, but I can't bring you in. The inside is very dangerous, and if you accidentally anger some powerful guys inside, you will face a disaster. Chen Shang said seriously. Shen Lingling nodded, as if she knew something as well. Then where should I go then? I'm not a girl from the 6th shop anymore, I'm not related to anyone for no reason. If Big Brother Yan isn't by my side, I don't even know where I should go to. Chen Shang looked towards Huang Jintian and sent a sound transmission to him. Master, help me arrange this little girl. Her condition is a little special, even though she has the strength of a worldly immortal, she was raised up using a few secret techniques, which is very harmful to her. The moment Huang Jintian heard it, he immediately frowned and walked over. Little Ling, I'm going to check on your cultivation situation and stretch out my hand. When Shen Lingling saw that Huang Jintian had become so serious and not as crazy as before, she became a little fearful for him, but she still extended her hand out. As expected, these fellows really dare to use this method to cultivate their slaves. This is unforgivable. Huang Jintian said a few plain words, but you could tell that he was extremely angry. Little Ling, is this all the work of the sixth shop? Will the other forces do the same? Huang Jintian asked, his expression becoming much gentler. I heard that all the princes do it this way. Only they know how to use this kind of secret technique. Shen Lingling said in a low voice. Chen Shang said. They need to grow a large amount of medicinal herbs, and need some stronger people to protect them, which will reduce the cost. Shen Lingling said in a low voice. I also heard that some of the people who succeeded in inserting heaven pills would also be sent to dig spiritual crystal. Huang Jintian looked at Chen Shang and sent a sound transmission to him. I hate others treating these pitiful little imps the most. Brat, think of a way to take care of all 7 princes and bring out your ability to cause trouble at DTN's place. It's a bit difficult, so you should help me arrange it first. Chen Shang thought for a while and decided to send Xiaoling off right now. He felt that something big was going to happen here very soon. Master, have you heard of the Long family in the Sacred Dan realm? Chen Shang asked. Of course I have, little sister Shang. You also told me that female dragon king is your big sister. If you want to bring this little girl there, that's not a problem, but if you need some spiritual crystal, the cost of teleporting back and forth should be more than 1 million, right? That place is too far away. Chen Shang still had 10 million spiritual crystal. He immediately took out 1 million and gave it to Huang Jintian. Come back as soon as possible and give this jade token to her. After she sees it, she knows how to take care of Xiaoling. At first, Shen Lingling was unwilling, but after Chen Shang tried to persuade her, he told her that he would take her to a big sister's place so that she could cultivate there and become a strong warrior in the future. Huang Jintian brought Xiaoling and left for the Sacred Dan realm. That place was currently called the Sacred Pill Domain, and the alchemy resources there were still very abundant, especially the Sacred Dan realm on the other side, which was ruled by the 4 major clans. Huang Jintian left at noon and returned at night. The female dragon king asked if she could help and she knew what you are doing here. She said that she is very free right now. Huang Jintian did not actually come back empty-handed. He had brought a lot of delicious food with him. Chen Shang could tell from the taste of the dishes that they were from the Long family's hotels. He had eaten there a few times before, but he had already guessed that Huang Jintian would be shamelessly eating special food there. There's definitely no need for her help. The fewer people here, the better, and it would affect the Imperial Dragon clan. When the time comes, they will definitely form 2 forces. One is to help the 6th prince obtain the throne, and the other is to stop the 6th prince. Chen Shang said. The Imperial Avian race is also here. This is great, I have never eaten royal bird meat before. Huang Jintian became excited, and suddenly the immortal beast meat on the table became much worse. Master, you have heard of the Imperial Feather race? Chen Shang asked curiously. Of course I have, but Imperial Avian race has always kept a low profile, and Imperial Dragon clan has always been like this. However, in recent years, he has become very high profile, and I don't know which side helped the 6th prince. Huang Jintian laughed. Someone's coming. Huang Jintian's body trembled. A strong guy, could it be the 6th prince? What is he doing here so late? Chapter 1309. Coming in the middle of the night really made people feel shocked. Chen Shang could even feel He Feng's qi. 3 people, Manager Ma, He Feng, and the Immortal King. They should be the 6th prince. Long Shui said. Chen Shang said to Huang Jintian, hide yourself a little, now that we are pretending to sleep, they will still need some time to come over. After a while, Steward Ma knocked on Chen Zhang's door and shouted, Master Yan, an important guest is here. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian did not understand. A prince would always be so sneaky when he comes, so he got up to open the door. After opening the door, he saw He Feng and the Immortal King. However, this Immortal King was wearing a black mask and his appearance could not be seen. When He Feng saw Chen Shang, he respectfully saluted and shouted, Master Yan, sorry for disturbing you. I have something important to say, please forgive me. The tall man with the mask said. Master Yan, let us cut to the chase. I can let you enter the palace, but after you enter, you must complete the mission in strict accordance to the time limit. We urgently need the relive Dan right now. If you can do it, we won't treat you unfairly. Chen Shang pretended to think for a moment and said, if it's not a long period of time required to refine pills every day, I can. Okay, Fenger, you make the arrangements. I still have other things to do. The 6th prince then left full of energy. Young master, can I bring one of my followers in? This is a relative of my master. With his help, I think I'll be able to concoct pills faster. Chen Shang looked at Huang Jintian who was inside the house. Huang Jintian gave the impression that he was an honest old man, especially when he revealed that simple and honest smile. Late period of human immortal, not bad. You can follow me. He Feng nodded. Huang Jintian only had the strength of late period of human immortal, so Chen Shang didn't really believe it. He kept having the feeling that this crazy old master of his wasn't that good, that he had to be very strong to slay a dragon. Just like this, He Feng brought them into the palace overnight. On the second day, when it was dawn, many people wanted to see him, but after knowing that they had entered the palace, they all left in disappointment. The inside of the palace was not as luxurious as Chen Shang had imagined, but instead was extremely simple. There was a dense aura of an old man, clearly a result of the passage of time. Even though it was not luxurious, it gave people a solemn and grand feeling. There were countless buildings inside. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian sat on a carriage pulled by a heavenly horse. They were called out of it after walking until dawn broke, and He Feng was the one driving the carriage. It could be seen that the inside of the palace was very complicated. Otherwise, He Feng would not have brought Chen Shang in himself. After getting off the carriage, Chen Shang and Huang Jintian followed He Feng into a heavily guarded villa. Eldest young master, I still have a contract with the shop, Chen Shang said. That contract was a little troublesome. If he did not refine the relive Dan on time, he would be tortured. Destroy it yourself. You are not affected by the contract, you just need to stay here and concoct pills. I will get someone to send the relive Dan over later. He Feng passed over the contract that he had signed to Chen Shang. After Chen Shang burned it down, he asked, First young master, what do you need so many relive Dans for? Master Yan doesn't need to know about this, I can't tell you yet. He Feng shook his head. Currently, the relive Dan outside are all very expensive, and the quality is also not good. Furthermore, we have a large number of relive Dan herbs. A portion of medicinal ingredients would make 2 higher-level alchemists, with the majority of them being 1 pellet. However, Chen Shang had 4 pellets per himself, and his speed was much faster than many alchemists. The 6th prince and the others had their eyes on Chen Shang, the person who could make use of the medicinal ingredients and his extremely fast speed. Don't wander around here, we need to make enough pills to get you to leave. He Feng then left, followed by 100 batches of relive Dan's medicinal ingredients. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian lived in a small hut at the bottom of the mountain. He had not started to refine pills yet and was busy processing the herbs. Master, do you have a way to investigate the situation in the palace? Although we can enter, we've encountered many restrictions. We can't leave right now, and the palace is very large as well. Chen Shang was being transmitted by Huang Jintian. He was worried that someone else might be eavesdropping. It's best if we can come in. There are 2 benefits to coming in. One is that we can observe the situation from the inside, and the other is that if a fight happens here, we are very close to the battlefield, and outside, it might not be easy to come in. Huang Jintian said. Of course, Long Shui was the best at investigating such things, so Chen Shang did not need to worry. Huang Jintian was also helping Chen Shang with the processing of the medicinal herbs, but he felt very annoyed. Kid, let me show you something. Huang Jintian sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, and then, he took out a little bird that looked like it was made from a transparent crystal. Fly, Huang Jintian gently flung, and the transparent little bird flew up into the air. After flying out of the window, Chen Shang immediately stretched his head out to take a look, but then disappeared into the sky. Hee, this little bird is a very powerful immortal equipment. Being able to be linked with my spiritual sense, I can use this little thing to check and understand the situation here. I already have a plan. Huang Jintian chuckled and transmitted to Chen Shang. It's just that the array of the palace is too powerful, it's very hard to fly in, but we're not afraid anymore, we're all inside. Amazing, I'm going to start concocting pills now. Be careful, don't let anyone catch you. Chen Shang took out the Yanlong furnace. With the help of the Yanlong furnace, he felt even more relaxed, and could quickly finish off 100 sets of medicinal ingredients. However, he would be slower, because He Feng had given him 3 days' time. After Chen Shang concocted some pills, he would go out and take a walk, as long as he did not leave the small hut. If he wanted to eat something, as long as he shouted, it would be delivered soon, so Huang Jintian was very satisfied. As he ate the precious delicacies sent by the palace, he used his lousy bird to observe the movements of the palace. Long Shui's harvest was also not small. In merely a day's time, Long Shui had already determined the number of Imperial Feather Race and Imperial Dragon Clan, and both parties were 15. What surprised Chen Shang was that the Imperial Dragon Clan was on the side of the 6th prince, and from the looks of it, he could be considered to be on the same side as him. On the other hand, Imperial Feather Race was the eldest prince's side. There were 7 princes and 6 of them joined forces to fight against the strongest 6th prince. Furthermore, Long Shui was also observing that there were more and more strong rankers rushing over. I saw someone I know, it's that old woman Wang Changjin again, and there's also the Hall Master of the Fire Divine Palace, DTN. They are actually all on the side of the 6th prince. Long Shui replied. Chapter 13:10. During DTN's time, had always kept it in his heart that he was unable to get rid of the 2 immortal king stage powerhouses from the Fire Divine Palace. Of course, it was impossible here now. Huang Jintian sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. I saw that old woman called Wang Changjin. When you were at DTN, you should have sparred with her before. Chen Shang couldn't help but praise Huang Jintian's transparent bird for being able to see and hear so many things. Although it was a bit slower than Long Shui, it was already not bad to be able to do this much. Are they going to fight? Right here in the palace? Chen Shang asked. If that's not the case, why did they call in such a strong rancor? Could it be that they want to suppress the other party using their aura? Who knows, but if they don't fight, then your dream of getting rich and my dream of slaying a dragon will be ruined. We have to make them fight and make them bite each other. Huang Jintian smiled and sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Chen Shang had taught him all the tricks he knew, and Huang Jintian had also become proficient with them. At the same time, Chen Shang had also thought the same way. I also want to eat royal bird meat. Grilled royal birds are very delicious. Long Shui shouted from inside the ring. On the second day, Huang Jintian and Long Shui released their vigilant voices at the same time. He Feng is bringing Wang Changjin over. If she had not requested for it, He Feng would definitely not have brought her here. Chen Shang had a bad premonition. He had fought with Wang Changjin before, so he was worried that he would be recognized. He had a huge grudge with the Imperial Dragon Clan and him, so he definitely could not reveal it. Master Yan, this is one of the 20 Hall Masters of Fire Divine Palace, Senior Wang. He Feng was worried that Chen Shang did not know him, so he quickly introduced him, in order to not anger Wang Changjin. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian both came up to greet the old woman, but they were cursing her in their hearts. I heard that when you refined Relive Dan, you were able to produce 4 pellets in a single furnace. I wonder what method you used? Wang Changjin asked. Felt that the situation was not good. If Wang Changjin forced Chen Shang to teach him the pill refining skills, even he did not know how to end this situation. This is a secret, Chen Shang said neither humbly nor arrogantly. He would not say anything more in the area of pill refining. He Feng asked at this time, Master Yan, my father asked me to come and ask you about the progress of the pill refining now. I have already refined 80 sets of medicinal ingredients and 320 Relive Dan. I can definitely complete it by tomorrow night. Chen Shang replied. If it was a normal alchemist, then it would take 320 sets of ingredients. Even the stronger ones would need 160 sets, and Chen Shang was very steady. He had not failed even after concocting so many batches of ingredients, so it was the same for concocting pills. This achievement made Wang Changjin extremely envious. I can buy your alchemy skills from the spiritual crystal, or trade them for something else. Wang Changjin did not give up. At this time, her voice became stern, and released an oppressive aura, as if telling Chen Shang that he was just a bug. Chen Shang frowned. He Feng's forehead was also covered in sweat. Even if I die, I won't tell anyone. This is what my master told me. I'm sorry. Chen Zhang's voice sank, feeling somewhat angry. Call your master out, I want to talk to him. Wang Changjin said in a cold voice. If he sees me, he will definitely agree to make a deal with me. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian sneered in their hearts. With that old woman's appearance, even a drawing of a portrait hanging on the bed would be able to repel evil spirits. I'm also looking for my master. If you can find him, that's for the best. Chen Shang said. Huang Jintian was Chen Zhang's master, but Huang Jintian knew that Chen Shang definitely had another formidable person who could guide him in refining pills. Who is your master? Wang Changjin saw that the person in front of him was extremely stubborn, and was not afraid of her at all. I don't know his name either. Other than him, no one else knows either. Chen Shang spread his hands. Where did he come from? A person immediately appeared in He Feng's mind and anxiously asked. Devil Killing Summit. Chen Shang said, this was what Su Meiyao had taught him. Hearing those 3 words, Wang Chongjin's face changed, he became even more gloomy and cold, then turned and left. You came from the Devil Killing Summit? He Feng asked in surprise. No, I've never been there. My master also told me not to go there. Chen Shang said. The master he was referring to was Su Meiyao's master back then, and although no one knew his name, he was extremely famous. Even Wang Chongjin had directly left upon hearing his name. At this time, He Feng looked at Huang Jintian, who was behind Chen Shang, and said with an astonished expression, you said that this old mister was your master's relative. What relationship does he have with your master? Hearing He Feng's words, Wang Chongjin immediately walked back and looked at him. Huang Jintian said indifferently, I am his master's cousin, I don't know how to refine pills, but I do when fighting, so don't think about it too much. Nonsense, how could he have a cousin? Wang Chongjin sneered, you really are his cousin. You would be in this place. Huang Jintian said, what am I doing here, aren't you also here? Although I am not his master, if you want to touch him, you have to pass through me first. Right now, I am even more unconvinced that he is the disciple of Devil Killing Summit. All of you must have been planning to lie to me, this brat wants to lie to me, I must capture him and bring him back for punishment. Just as Wang Chongjin finished speaking, Huang Jintian gave a furious shout, and a golden multicolored light spurted out from his body. The entire villa started to tremble. Old demon girl, I'm from the Devil Killing Summit, it's normal for me to kill you with my bare hands. I didn't want to cause any trouble, but now I can't take it anymore. Huang Jintian struck out with his palm. On the palm of his hand, there was a flashing red, Punisher, word, which emitted an incomparably powerful aura. Devil Slayer Palm. Wang Chongjin was startled, and immediately dodged, but after dodging, Wang Chongjin quickly kept his distance. What's going on? The 6th prince flew over from afar, his face was still wearing the mask, and his voice was full of surprise. Chen Shang, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were also very shocked. Originally, they only planned to use Devil Killing Summit to deceive that Wang Chongjin, but they never thought that Huang Jintian would really use Devil Killing Summit's ultimate skill, the Demon Destroying Palm. Ask this old woman, she angered us time and time again, and she even forced others to hand over their alchemy skills. Only this kind of devil likes to do things that are forbidden from doing anything. Huang Jintian said coldly. At this time, not only was the 6th prince there, a large group of people had also arrived, including Imperial Dragon Clan. At this time, the strength of this group was clear, this was something that Huang Jintian had deliberately used his Demon Punisher palm to lure here. Chapter 13:11. When everyone arrived at the place, Huang Jintian had already stopped his attacks. Although they could not see his Demon Punisher palm, there were still many people who were familiar with the aura emitted by his palms. You actually dared to attack me, and even use the Devil Slayer palm. Wang Chongjin was furious. If she had been hit just now, even if she did not die, she would at least lose a layer of skin. So what, I still want to kill you. Huang Jintian also glared at her. Then, he kicked Wang Chongjin and the others to apologize. He just did not understand why the people of Devil Killing Summit would choose to refine pills for the sake of earning spiritual crystal, but when he saw that Huang Jintian's strength was not very strong and that Chen Shang was only able to refine high-grade ground-level pills, he guessed that he was a disciple of the Devil Killing Summit who was scattered outside. It was possible that he was looking for the master of the Devil Killing Summit. This kind of thing happened a long time ago. People who were related to the Devil Killing Summit were all very strong, especially when it came to alchemy. There's nothing left to do here. Everyone, go back and leave. This little brother Yan is still concocting pills for me. If you stay here, you will disturb him. The 6th prince left with the rest, and didn't ask Chen Shang about other things. After everyone had left, Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief and said, this 6th prince really knows how to act like a human being. If not for this, he would have met so many powerful people. Huang Jintian's expression was a little serious as he transmitted his voice to Chen Shang. Tomorrow, after we hand over the last relive Dan, we will leave quickly. We cannot stay here for too long, there are a lot of enemies in Devil Killing Summit, both you and I have been exposed. Master, you really are someone from the Devil Killing Summit. How is it that I don't know when you joined them? Asked. The Devil Killing Summit was only what Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao had told him. He did not understand much about the devil-killing summit, but he knew that the devil-killing summit was very powerful, so he guessed that Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu came from the devil-killing summit. Aren't you? Huang Jintian asked in surprise. No, I just heard about it. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he changed his words, perhaps it can be considered to be true. In short, I have some connections with the people of the devil-killing summit. Nonsense, you must be. I am the devil-killing summits, you are my disciple, and right now you are the devil-killing summits. Huang Jintian patted his shoulder. The demon punisher palm is so powerful that it scares that old woman's face green. Chen Shang smiled and asked, they were secretly communicating through sound transmission. That won't be easy to learn. I'll ask my teacher about that when I see him in the future and have him adapt it for you to learn. Huang Jintian said, you go and concoct pills first, leave this place as soon as possible. I have mastered the strength of those fellows, now I want to see what they want with so many relived Dan. Chen Shang entered the secret room. As he came out with the herbs, he asked Long Shuiyi. A group of experts had just arrived, but he couldn't see the strength of these experts. The whole body is very strong, that's why your master chose to leave. Amongst them, there are 4 dragon kings and at least 10 immortal kings, and if we were to fight, it would be somewhat difficult to fish in troubled waters. However, we can only temporarily leave the palace. Long Shuiyi was also shocked by the reinforcements invited by the 6th prince. A dragon king was a very strong one. What's with the devil slayer palm? Is my master really from the devil killing summit? Chen Shang said. Of course, the devil slayer palm is an ultimate technique of the devil killing summit. Even if there is a cultivation technique, not everyone can learn it. It is specially written by people from the devil killing summit for disciples, and can be learned by people with different cultivation directions. Junior sister and I are both people of the devil killing summit, and our master, the ruthless devil Venerable, is also from the devil killing summit. Bai Yuyu said. Devil killing summit is so powerful, have you guys been there yet? Chen Shang asked in surprise. No, none of our masters have ever been there. Only our young masters have ever been there, and they are the ones who taught me how to refine pills. Su Meiyao said. An expert on the level of the ruthless devil Venerable had never been to the devil killing summit before. It could be seen how powerful the experts in the devil killing summit were. No wonder that group of people were panic-stricken when they heard that the people from the devil killing summit were here. Chen Shang quickly completed what He Feng had given him and finished refining all the ingredients. Just as he walked out of the pill refining room, Huang Jintian rushed over and said to him, I know what these guys are so anxious about, they are using some secret techniques to create a group of immortals. Chen Shang immediately thought of Shen Lingling and his face darkened, this bunch of bastards. Their current technique has improved a lot, unlike what little Ling said, it won't fail often. Right now, their success is relatively easy, but after succeeding, they will suffer from internal and external injuries, which is why they need relived Dan to heal them. Huang Jintian caressed the transparent little bird in his hand and continued, I used this little thing to follow that He Feng brat to see all of these. Thinking about how the relived Dan he refined could be used to do such wicked things, Chen Shang felt extremely angry. He no longer planned to give the relived Dan in his hands to He Feng, since he didn't have the contract with him. What do they need so many of these people for? If the 6th prince wants to fight for the throne, he still can't rely on these immortal kings. Huang Jintian shook his head. They used a secret technique to create so many worldly immortals, they are definitely not here to fight for the throne, my guess is that they are here to mine resources, they definitely lack manpower right now, they probably found some resources to mine. They all use some youths to get them. I wonder where they got so many heaven pills. In order to get so many heaven pills, they must have to kill quite a few immortals. Could it be that they are hunting those rogue cultivators outside? Chen Shang said angrily. Leave now, we can't help them commit crimes anymore. Huang Jintian nodded. Have you decided how to leave? If they don't let us out, we'll rush out. Although there are a lot of formations here, it's still very easy to exit from here. Chen Shang said. Huang Jintian shook his head. Brat, use your brain. You just received a message, someone from your devil-killing summit is looking for you, they are outside, they need us to go outside and wait for them to go out. They can talk about a place that is further from the palace. Chen Shang had been too impulsive just now. He nodded and said, then I'll go call He Feng over right now. Huang Jintian laughed. When the time comes, you can go out by yourself. I'm still wandering around here, you know. Chen Zhang's eyes lit up, and he laughed. "Master, be careful." Chapter 13:12. When Hefeng received the notice, he immediately rushed over, and upon knowing that Chen Shang was about to go out, he wanted to reject it first, but when he heard that Chen Shang wanted to see the person from Devil Killing Summit, he did not dare stop him. There was a high possibility that someone from Devil Killing Summit was looking for him, as they wanted to bring him back to Devil Killing Summit. Over the years, many experts had claimed that they were Devil Killing Summit, but most of them had never gone there, and only received guidance from the experts that came from the Devil Killing Summit. If they could return to the Devil Killing Summit, then their achievements would be even greater in the future. However, it was true that there were a lot of enemies in the Devil Killing Summit, because many people who called themselves Devil Killing Summit would often cause trouble everywhere, provoking some strong warriors or powerful forces. Over time, many great powers would target the Devil Killing Summit, and no matter who it was, as long as they were people from the Devil Killing Summit, they were enemies of the big powers. I will not return to the Devil Killing Summit for the time being. My followers will stay here. Chen Shang said. This was what Huang Jintian had taught him. Just like last time, Hefeng brought Chen Shang out of the palace using a carriage. Although it was just Hefeng, he was very strong, with enough strength to protect Chen Shang, as long as it wasn't the Immortal King. Hefeng was still young, and was already at the late stage of Immortal Monarch. He might very well become an Immortal King soon. The royal families in Myriad Dan Immortal country were indeed very strong. As he sat on the carriage, Chen Shang closed his eyes and pretended to rest. He was in the middle of thinking about how to get rid of Hefeng. The person who came to find me sent me a message. He said that there are special reasons why I am not allowed to enter the Immortal Palace. He told me to meet him outside. Young master, you only need to wait for me at the shop. Chen Shang said. If not for Huang Jintian remaining in the palace, this Hefeng would have thought that Chen Shang wanted to shake him off. Now, he nodded very straightforwardly as he knew that the follower beside Chen Shang was very powerful. Arriving at the entrance of the shop, Chen Shang anxiously rushed over to the transmission array, and teleported to the exit of the Immortal Palace. After leaving the Immortal Palace, he entered the vast forest, concealing his whereabouts. Initially, there were people following him, but as soon as he exited the Immortal Palace, he was quickly left behind. After the people following Chen Shang were thrown off, they immediately sent a message to Hefeng. When Hefeng realized that something was wrong, he immediately returned to the palace. Huang Jintian calculated the time, and when it was about time, he immediately hid himself. He had lived for who knows how many years, although he was sometimes crazy, no one could do anything to him while he was playing dirty. To suddenly disappear from the palace by yourself was a very scary thing to do. If one were to hide in there recklessly, the consequences would be unimaginable, not to mention that that person was from Devil Killing Summit. Tengu had already made his move. What was terrifying was that he did not know where the two had gone. Only now did he remember that the Ling maidservant that had always been by Chen Zhang's side had already disappeared, and they could not find any trace of little Ling. This immediately made the sixth prince and the others think that this was a premeditated plan, otherwise it would not have been so rigorous. This sixth prince is really amazing. His men are everywhere, and they're all looking for me. Chen Shang hid outside for a few days, turned into a young man, and entered the main palace once again. Upon entering, he saw many people on the road who were not weak disguised themselves as regular people. That's why that crazy old master told you to leave earlier. If he stays in the palace now, it should be even more dangerous. I wonder if he can handle it. Long Shui said. I'm not worried about him. He probably won't stop until he kills one or two dragons. If Chen Shang had not helped her, she would not have been able to escape the sixth prince's pursuit so easily. However, Huang Jintian had done it on his own. Chen Shang then came to the central area, looked at the high walls of the palace and said, I'm here to make a fortune, how can I leave just like that? He had indeed made 100 billion spiritual crystal, but that was still too little for him. What are your plans now? Long Shui asked because he saw that Chen Shang had come to the Myriad Dan building again. I've been looking down on that Hong. Come here and beat him up. Chen Shang walked into the Myriad Dan building and entered the third floor. Although he lost last time, the Hong still roamed around here looking for some soft persimmon to pinch. The elder Uncle Li was also here, and he looked like he was sleeping. When Chen Shang arrived at the third floor, he saw that elder Uncle Li's eyelids had twitched, and he was shocked in his heart. He suspected that the elder Uncle Li already knew about his arrival. The mysterious elder Uncle Li was not an ordinary person, Chen Shang was secretly on guard. As soon as the elder uncle Li pierced through him, he would immediately leave, and right now, 60,000 words worth of people were looking for him. Even here, there were people sent by the sixth prince. The sixth prince had obtained a genius alchemist, but this genius alchemist had been eliminated, causing the sixth prince to be mocked by the other princes. The sixth prince could now confirm that Master Yan was not with the other princes, but he had a goal to infiltrate the palace. The He Hong brought a few people and strolled around. Chen Shang walked over and asked Long Shui at the same time, "Does this kid have a immortal monarch by his side?" "Nope," Long Shui said. When Chen Shang walked over, the He Hong was already staring at an old man. He saw that the old man had just finished refining a batch of pills, and walked over with a sinister smile. "Old ox, your pill refining skills have improved a lot. Are you interested in competing with my first store's alchemist?" When the old man heard the He Hong's voice, his thin body slightly trembled, and he said, "There's no need to compete, I definitely can't compare to the alchemist in your first shop. I just mastered refining high-grade ground-level pills not long ago." "Oh, you dare to reject me? Don't you want to stay here any longer?" The He Hong sneered. "You should be clear about the consequences if you reject me. If you lose, you wouldn't suffer any loss, right? But I don't want to compete right now." The old bull really did not want to compete. Although losing to the He Hong was nothing, he would sneer at him from time to time, which would affect things a lot. This was not just a simple sparring in pill refining techniques, the He Hong had specially tricked him. Chen Shang walked over and shouted, "How about I compete with you?" The He Hong immediately looked at Chen Shang, and just as he turned around, Chen Shang flashed and appeared in front of him. Following that, Chen Zhang's fist fiercely smashed into his nose. "It's more interesting that I will compete with you in fists. It's boring to concoct pills all day long." Chen Zhang's fist had already destroyed the He Hong's nose, and right now, the entire face of the He Hong was covered in blood. Chapter 13:13. Many people had wanted to beat up the He Hong for a long time, but this He Hong was the son of the first prince, so even if they scolded him in front of him, there would be serious consequences if they did it. Now, however, there was actually someone who was not afraid of death and directly punched him in the nose, causing him to bleed profusely. "Kill him, dismember his body into 10,000 pieces." The He Hong covered its nose and screamed. Chen Zhang's attacks were very sudden, and no one would have thought that someone would dare attack someone in the Myriad Dan building, and that the person being attacked was even Wang's son, which was equivalent to opposing the entire royal family. The normally domineering He Hong's were even more unexpected, so his subordinates were unable to react for a moment. Chen Shang only threw a punch and he ran down the stairs like lightning. He quickly walked out of the Myriad Dan building and blended into the crowd to change his appearance. Everyone was secretly happy that they were suddenly given the He Hong. Although it did not cause any serious injuries to the He Hong, it definitely hurt a lot just now, and the most important thing was that their face had been severely damaged. "Leaving after a single punch, you sure are damaging yourself." Long Shui laughed. "One punch is enough, this guy is just arrogant. He can give him some memory, but the father and son duo on the other hand, are all hypocrites." "Truly, a vile person is much better than a hypocrite," Chen Shang said. After the He Hong was beaten up, a few rankers of the 4th and 5th floor came over. Some of them attacked at the Myriad Dan building, but it infuriated the higher-ups of the Myriad Dan building, so they immediately sent people to look for him. Chen Shang was far away from the Myriad Dan building, and would walk past the majestic huge door of the palace from time to time. He needed to pay attention to the movements in the palace at all times, and if there was a fight inside, he would immediately sneak in. A few days had passed, but there were still no movements from inside the palace. It was clear that the conflict between the two parties was not intense enough, and was probably just speaking out of words, and Myriad Dan Immortal country did not announce old Wang's abdication. An emperor dragon walked out of the palace, and he even followed that He Feng. Long Shui said. When Chen Shang got close to the entrance of the palace, Long Shui sensed the qi, and immediately told Chen Shang. However, Chen Shang did not see He Feng or dragon. "In the direction of the 6th shop, I reckon that they have come out to play. There are a total of 2 emperor dragons, and their strengths are around the immortal monarch," Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately walked towards the direction of the 6th shop. The shops around the 6th shop were all under the jurisdiction of the 6th prince. If the 6th prince were to ascend to the position, he would hand it over to He Feng. When they were nearing the 6th shop, Chen Shang saw a hunchbacked old man. He had a messy beard on his face and his hair was very neatly combed. Little naughty dragon, I feel that this old man is my master, what do you think? Chen Shang did not sense any aura from the old man's body. He should be that crazy old man. When I went to check his strength, it was the same. Long Shui said. Chen Shang came over and patted on his shoulder. The old man immediately turned his head and inspected Chen Zhang's strength, but was unable to find anything. He immediately knew that the young man in front of him was his disciple who had disguised himself. Huang Jintian's eyes carried a smile as he sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Little brat, you're quite amazing to be able to recognize me. I recognize you even after turning into ashes. Master, weren't you in the palace? How did you get out? It took me so much effort to get in. For Huang Jintian to be able to appear on the street and even approach the sixth shop, it was obvious that he had come for those dragons. I found a way to enter and exit freely. Now that there are 2 small dragons out, I followed them out. You will soon be able to taste the dragon meat. Huang Jintian laughed. Chen Shang had originally planned to use some sort of poison to kill those 2 emperor dragons, but that would be a given. The difficulty would be a little high, but it would be different now. This crazy old man's grilled meat is pretty good. I wonder how he will cook the dragon meat. I really want to eat it. Long Shui said while drooling. Do you need help? Chen Shang asked. No need. Wait for me at the 20,000 pill palaces. Something big might happen tonight, we'll contact each other by secret signal. Huang Jintian said. I want to stay as well. Chen Shang said anxiously, if tonight was the battle for the throne, if he was not here, he would not have gotten lucky. Idiot, of course I know you are here to make a fortune. I have calculated using the heaven extended method, the old king would abdicate tonight, and then some things would happen, the location would be around the 20th palace. After I finish off these 2 small dragons, I will go and reunite with you, and pick up the loot. Huang Jintian had the ability to foresee the future, so of course Chen Shang believed him. After bidding farewell to Huang Jintian, he entered the transmission array and was teleported to Immortal Palace number 20 in Myriad Dan Immortal Country. These 20 Immortal Palaces were very big, however, they weren't as prosperous as the main palace. Moreover, there weren't many people here, and there were very few places with houses. They were very suitable for great battles. Chen Shang wandered around for 4 hours before he found out that there was only one area with a single person in it, and that it was far from the center. An immortal palace is as big as a continent. So this immortal palace should have a lot of empty space. Could it be that this immortal palace is used for fighting? Chen Zhang's heart was filled with suspicion. He was staying at a hotel near the transmission array. He laid on his bed and patiently waited. However, at this time, he sensed an energy fluctuation coming from the transmission array. It was a very strong aura fluctuation. This meant that someone was currently teleporting over from a very far place, and it was definitely not the Myriad Dan Immortal Country's numerous immortal palaces. Who's coming? Chen Shang used the heaven tour and allowed his divine soul to fly above the transmission array. The only person who was teleporting over was only a woman, and she was also wearing a mask and a bamboo hat. Although she was wearing a loose black robe that covered her body, Chen Shang could tell from her footsteps that she was definitely a woman. He was not interested in the beginning, but some people made him very mysterious. This was normal, but just as he was about to put away the heaven tour, he discovered that the woman had left behind some signals. When she passed by a wall, she gently touched it with her hand, leaving behind a very, very shallow mark. This signal is, Chen Shang immediately jumped up from the bed. He did not think that he knew this woman, nor did he think that he would come to this place where a great battle was going to take place. It's Sister Ziqian, what is she doing here? Chen Shang quickly left the hotel. She is currently wanted, and she is related. Many people are looking for her, and she also left a secret signal in a place like this. Could it be that she is looking for you? Bai Yuyu was also very confused. Chapter 13-14. Chen Shang walked out of the hotel, and just as he walked past the entrance, he quickly whispered to Bai Ziqian. Sister Ziqian, I'm here. Bai Ziqian turned his head to look at Chen Shang, and then walked over. He looked like she was very calm, but in her heart, she was very surprised that Chen Shang would appear so quickly, as if he was waiting for her here. Chen Shang brought her to his room. Bai Ziqian took off the mask, revealing a pair of evil and cold blue eyes. The purple-colored scorpion pattern on her forehead emitted a purple-colored, demonic glow, and from that look, one could tell that she was a very powerful witch. Sister Ziqian, long time no see. How have you been? Chen Shang laughed. Bai Ziqian had an ice-cold expression, but when she looked at Chen Shang, her eyes revealed a gentle light. Chen Shang gave her a large amount of magical corruption gas and drunk god magical poison, allowing her to handle the poison easily. This poison was something many poison masters yearned for day and night. Do you have more drunk god magical poison? If they're gone, I'll take some time to get some for you. Chen Shang knew that while Bai Ziqian was escaping, he would definitely run into a lot of enemies. I rarely use any strange poisons. I still have a lot of them here. You and that goblin, are they okay? Bai Ziqian asked. All good, Chen Shang laughed. I was looking for you for a reason. I knew that you were at the main palace, I didn't expect that you would come here too, faster than me. Bai Ziqian said. How did you know I was in the main palace? I hid it well, Chen Shang couldn't understand. I guessed, Bai Ziqian said. I want to borrow some blood from you. Since you have impenetrable, your blood should be able to cure the poison as well. How much? Chen Shang rolled up his sleeves. Full. Bai Ziqian took out a jar and handed it over to Chen Shang. I will not treat you unfairly. Although there was a lot of blood in that jar, Chen Zhang's recovery speed was fast, so he did not care much. Take it. Bai Ziqian looked at the jar of blood in satisfaction and handed a small box to Chen Shang. Chen Shang opened it to see, and discovered that it was a blood-red pellet. Heaven blood pill, Chen Shang said in shock. Eat it. Bai Ziqian had originally thought that since Chen Shang had lost so much blood, it would probably harm his vitality. However, he still looked as fierce as ever, and she didn't know that Chen Shang had jade dragon blood and such things. Now that all of these things had fused together, it made his physique even more terrifying, and could be said to be not a bad body. After consuming the heaven blood pill, the rate at which Chen Shang recovered his blood became much faster, and in a short while, he was back to how he was before. Sister Ziqian, did you come here to find me? How did you know that I would definitely come here? Chen Shang asked curiously. If nothing unexpected happens, the war for the myriad Dan immortal country's throne should start here. If you are in the main palace, you will find out soon enough. With your personality, you should come here, so I came here to wait for you. Bai Ziqian said. Chen Shang said excitedly. Sister Ziqian, then do you want to interfere in this matter? That's great. Bai Ziqian shook his head. No, I am still wanted. If my identity is revealed, the first one to suffer would be me. However, I will wait here for the end of the war. As long as I don't go near the battlefield, I'll be safe. Who are the people chasing you right now? Who are the main forces? Chen Shang knew that she would probably be hunted down a lot. She had killed an immortal king, and she had even used a strange poison. Devil suppressing divine palace, I killed another immortal king a while ago. He belonged to devil suppressing divine palace, it's just that they loved face and did not mention it. Bai Ziqian's words gave Chen Shang a fright. Devil suppressing divine palace was an existence that was on par with fire divine palace. Don't worry, although they have the means to track me down, I'll leave soon, and won't implicate you. Just as Bai Ziqian finished speaking, her expression suddenly changed. She anxiously put on her mask and said solemnly, the people from Devil Suppressing Divine Palace are here, I'll be leaving first. Just as Bai Ziqian walked in front of the door, a strong pressure hit him, causing him to shout out loud and pounce towards Chen Shang. In the next moment, he grabbed onto Chen Zhang's hand and jumped up, breaking through the floor and reaching high up in the sky. A boom sounded out, and before Chen Shang could react, he saw a few golden rays of light enter the hotel from several directions, and the entire hotel was enveloped by them. After the golden light disappeared, the hotel disappeared without a trace. There was only a deep pit there. Seeing this attack, Chen Zhang's hair immediately stood up. If Bai Ziqian had not reacted quickly, he would have been covered in wounds just now. He could tell that the people who attacked were all immortal kings, but what made him furious was that these people actually killed innocent people. It could be seen how tyrannical this devil-suppressing divine palace was. Even if it was an immortal monarch, the attack just now would have made them vaporized. It was unknown whether there were any famous disciples inside, but even if there were, this devil-suppressing divine palace was not afraid. It's the 5 immortal kings of devil-suppressing divine palace. Now, you have also been targeted by them. Bai Ziqian clenched his teeth. He then pulled Chen Shang and flew away from the place where many people were gathered. If they were to fight, the only place left with people in the 20th palace would be destroyed. Go to the wilderness and kill them with poison. Chen Shang replied. Anyway, you're not afraid, it's the same if a few more immortal kings die. They are all from devil-suppressing divine palace. Their methods of resisting the strange poison are very clever. If I could kill them, they wouldn't have chased me here. Bai Ziqian said. In the blink of an eye, Bai Ziqian had already brought Chen Shang out of the wilderness, with the 5 immortal kings following closely behind. They would occasionally release a strong golden light, and along the way, they would destroy several mountain peaks. What are they tracking you for, a snout like a tengu? Chen Shang asked. If he did not clarify this, it would be very difficult for him to get rid of these 5 immortal kings. No, I've been with them before, and they were able to release a special kind of aura which then seeped into my body, unknowingly accumulating a lot of it. I can't force it out. I think there are some in your body as well. Bai Ziqian said. Sister Ziqian, you're so stupid. Sister you taught me devouring magic kung fu, so I can help you absorb all these qi, and I can get rid of them in the end. Chen Shang said. Let's give it a try. Bai Ziqian's heart was moved. As long as that aura is condensed in my heart. Bai Ziqian pulled Chen Zhang's hand over, and pressed it on his own soft chest. Hurry, they're about to chase us. Chapter 13:15. Chen Shang subconsciously grabbed at the soft object as he shouted coldly. His body released a burst of cold energy, causing him to be shocked to the point of immediately releasing his divine power to sense the qi inside her heart. He quickly sensed that it was indeed special, but he was able to easily suck it out. It's done. Chen Shang completed it very quickly. If it wasn't for the urgent situation he was in, he would have dragged it out for a while. Although it was through his clothes, his hands still felt good. HMPH. Bai Ziqian felt Chen Zhang's fingers wiggle slightly, and immediately moved his hand away. Then, he grabbed his wrist and shuttled back and forth in the forest. I shook him off. Long Shui said. However, that qi is indeed strange. Even from a distance, you would still be sensed by it. If I did not help you hide, I'm afraid that you would have become the target in the future. Chen Shang tried to force it out on the way, but it was difficult, so he was not worried. Haha, they split up and looked for it. Long Shui laughed. She had been using the heaven tour to observe the immortal kings. Chen Shang said to Bai Ziqian in a low voice, Sister Ziqian, they have split up to look for us. Do you think we should kill 1 or 2 of them together to make them feel bad? Bai Ziqian stopped in her tracks. She had also sensed that no one was chasing after her, and the aura that had been gathered together had split into 5. Even if he did not use poison, in a one-on-one fight, Bai Ziqian could defeat an immortal king from the devil-suppressing divine palace. Alright, Bai Ziqian pondered for a moment, then pulled Chen Shang and ran in one direction. She seemed to be able to sense where the immortal kings were. Big Sister's strength is much stronger than the immortal kings of devil-suppressing divine palace, but devil-suppressing divine palace has their own demon chi methods, so Big Sister should be more pressured by them. You should be clear about this, wait for a moment and watch out for the opportunity to take action, secretly aiding her. Bai Ziqian said. Chen Shang chuckled. Of course, although this kind of thing is disgraceful, I am still more willing to do it. Chen Shang was the best at releasing hidden arrows, and he would frequently fire them, so he rarely missed out on any of them. However, Bai Ziqian did not plan to have Chen Shang help. Chen Shang had just ascended, and facing immortal king-level experts, he basically did not have any power to resist. Even if there was some strange poison, it would not be of much use. You wait for me here, I'll go chase after that guy myself. This should be the more powerful immortal king amongst them. Bai Ziqian threw Chen Shang under a big tree. This huge tree was extremely big, and required dozens of people to hug it. Regardless of whether Chen Shang agreed or not, after Bai Ziqian stuffed Chen Shang into a tree hole, he chased after a devil-suppressing divine palace's immortal king at lightning speed. Chen Shang had promised to help Bai Ziqian before, as he turned into a bird and flew quickly in the forest. However, his speed was not as fast as Bai Ziqian's, unless he used the spatial laws to travel through space. Which, you are courting death. A loud roar came from the sky, shaking the forest and causing the leaves to dance in the air. You provoked me first. A blue light flashed in front of Bai Ziqian. Not knowing what she had done, the trees within a few hundred meters of her suddenly turned into powder, and were blown away by the strong wind. The immortal king in the air released a few rays of golden light that carried the power of suppressing devils, and struck Bai Ziqian like lightning. However, the blue light that flickered on Bai Ziqian's body had a bizarre power, as it bounced off, causing the powerful suppressive devils to spread out in all directions, like countless of golden needles flying out in all directions, causing the trees that were hit to instantly turn into ashes. The battle between immortal kings is indeed fierce. I almost got into trouble. Chen Shang was crawling on the ground now, but he had turned into a tiny bug. You deserve to die if you use the super old poison, everyone has the responsibility to chase and kill you. The immortal king of devil suppressing divine palace drank. HMPH, then why did that fellow who died in my hands get me to hand over a poison? He should have killed me immediately. If the super old poison was in front of you guys, I'm afraid you guys would probably snatch it away like a group of hungry mad dogs. Bai Ziqian ridiculed. Nonsense, don't slander us. The immortal king bellowed and swooped down like a golden meteor, striking straight at Bai Ziqian. A very decent guy, Bai Ziqian bellowed, her body flickered with blue light as her jade fist suddenly turned purple and black. Are you going to use the magical corruption gas? Chen Shang said in shock. He never thought that Bai Ziqian would actually be able to refine magical corruption gas into his body. He was very curious how he did it. The devil-suppressing holy power on both of his hands were extremely powerful, and when it shone on Bai Ziqian's body, it made her feel an incomparable amount of pain. However, when the demon immortal suppressing king saw the change in Bai Ziqian's expression, his heart was also shocked, but he was not afraid. Which, accept your fate. The demon subduing immortal king laughed sinisterly, his fist suddenly glowing with a golden light, an even more powerful demonic suppressing force. Boom, 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 the ground was shaken by the strong force of the explosion, causing large cracks to appear. Strong wind swept up the broken rocks on the ground, causing large areas of land to be engulfed in black dust. In the midst of this wave of energy, Chen Shang carefully traveled through space to approach them. Haha, your magical corruption gas is useless to me, but you have even hurt yourself. Which, I will capture you alive, and then we will convene a devil slaughter conference. The demon-suppressing immortal king laughed. The corner of Bai Ziqian's mouth had purple blood flowing out of it, his face was pale, his blue eyes had also dimmed by a lot, and his fists were covered with purplish black blood. Even a demon king as strong as Bai Ziqian was unable to defeat them. There are already immortal kings from other devil-suppressing divine palace coming. Hurry, Long Shui urged. Chen Shang clenched his teeth, he immediately teleported back and forth between Great Duan Kong and the demon immortal king. Who? The demon-suppressing immortal king roared. The sound was extremely furious, because half of the green blade suddenly appeared from his stomach, causing him to be extremely shocked, because there were many magical corruption gas hovering around the blade. Chen Shang used most of his strength to pull out the green dragon demon slain broadsword. Fortunately, the green dragon demon slain broadsword was very sharp and had a strong defense, so it was able to pierce through the demon lord's immortal robe and break his defense. Green dragon demon slain broadsword. He already knew who this person was, other than Chen Shang, who else had green dragon demon slain broadsword s. However, he did not expect that Chen Shang actually had such a large number of magical corruption gas s, and when he stabbed him a moment ago, he had injected a lot of them. Devil-suppressing divine palace had wanted to capture Chen Shang for a long time, because he could obtain the two treasures, green dragon demon slain broadsword and holy devil-suppressing seal. Chapter 13:16, Accept your fate. Chen Shang laughed coldly, he waved his blade and with a swoosh, the immortal king that had been poisoned to the bone marrow was slashed all over. The body of demon immortal suppression was still very strong. If it was anyone else, they would have already been smashed into pieces. Chen Shang sensed the qi approaching him and quickly gathered his strength. He released a ball of multicolored heavenly fire and struck the demon lord's body, burning his soul away. Hurry up and leave. Bai Ziqian's injuries weren't too serious yet, so she pulled Chen Shang and escaped once more. Even if Chen Shang didn't appear, she could still escape. Just as they thought to themselves, the four elders suddenly appeared beside the unextinguished seven-colored heavenly fire. As they looked at the seven-colored light radiating from the heavenly fire, their expressions became extremely grim. I haven't seen this type of flame in a long time. Someone who can release this flame definitely isn't a fiendish demon. I didn't expect the witch to have such a powerful person by her side. Another immortal king has died. It seems it's time to report to the Dao Shrine. An old man said solemnly. Who the hell is it? There are only a few people that can release the seven-colored heavenly fire, so it's necessary to have the head palace master find those few guys and ask. Now, 2 immortal kings have died. The death immortal king was a very serious matter for a superpower. Although the heaven realm was vast and had a large number of people, but there were very few immortal kings. When the devil-suppressing divine palace was chasing after Bai Ziqian, 2 of them had already died. Now that they had lost track of Bai Ziqian, they felt uneasy when they saw an expert who knew how to use rainbow heaven flames beside Bai Ziqian. Bai Ziqian brought Chen Shang and flew far away in one breath, but they had not left the Immortal Palace yet, so it would be difficult for the Demon Lord to find them. Is it serious? Chen Shang asked in concern. It's fine. It'll be fine soon. Bai Ziqian had just seen the rainbow heaven flame that Chen Shang had released, and that had also surprised her, because people who knew how to use this kind of flame were as rare as phoenix feathers and qilin horns in heaven realm. Chen Shang had only just ascended, she had not expected Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao to cultivate to be so strong. Deep in the night, Chen Shang and Bai Ziqian were in the forest, and Bai Ziqian's complexion had improved a lot. To be able to kill a devil-suppressing divine palace's immortal king, she felt extremely satisfied. If Chen Shang had not suddenly appeared and stabbed the immortal king with his blade, injecting a large amount of magical corruption gas, it would not have been that easy to obtain victory. The battle for the throne is about to begin, I need to leave as soon as possible. If the devil-suppressing divine palace spreads the news, I'm afraid all 7 princes will search for me. Bai Ziqian said. Sister Ziqian, take care, I want to look for you in the future, I will do something big, you will leave a signal at the entrance of the Immortal Palace to contact you. Chen Shang said. You have to be careful too. Take good care of Yuyu. Bai Ziqian looked at Chen Shang gently and patted his shoulder, take care. Bai Ziqian left for the night. He returned to the only place in the Immortal Palace that had people everywhere. If Huang Jintian wanted to kill the Emperor Dragon, he wanted to know if it was a success. In the sky, Chen Shang had finally returned, and on the streets here, a portrait of Bai Ziqian would appear at intervals. There were still colors on it, completely imprinting her charming and seductive face down, making people somewhat captivated by her portrait. Mo Tian, the former daughter of the Bai clan's demon emperor, Bai Ziqian, was known as the Devil Scorpion Princess, and was proficient in using poison. Now, she had already used one of the super old poison S, the magical corruption gas, to kill 3 immortal kings. Chen Shang tore a bounty and placed it into her ring. He asked in shock, Sister Yuyu, your father is actually a demon emperor. Others sealed it for him. He had never admitted it before. Didn't you see that it was the former demon emperor? Bai Yuyu's voice was ice cold. It was clear that she did not have any feelings for the demon emperor's father. Sister Meiyao said that he died once in the Great War between 3 realms. Only now did Chen Shang remember that Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao had probably experienced the Great War between 3 realms once, which was 100,000 years ago. But there's also the rumor that he survived. Ever since he died, the Bai clan in the Devil realm has declined, and my elder sister was pressed down by the demon-suppressing tablet in the Great Devil Mountains for 100,000 years. As for me, Bai Yuyu sighed softly. Chen Shang saw the secret signal left behind by Huang Jintian, but he didn't hear any news of a royal dragon being killed in the main palace. Did my master fail? Let me look down on him for a bit. He lost such a good opportunity and still has the face to come and find me. Chen Shang was secretly delighted. Following the signal, he arrived at a hotel. Huang Jintian disguised himself as a robust old man, and stood at the door. This hotel has a backyard, it's almost time for the next one. Huang Jintian whispered to Chen Shang. Chen Shang thought that Huang Jintian would stay here to pay, but he didn't expect that he would wait for him here to pay the bill. 2 small rooms will do. This hotel is so luxurious and expensive. Although Chen Shang still had a lot of spiritual crystal S, he would not use them carelessly. Cut the crap, are you asking for a beating? Huang Jintian glared at him. Chen Shang had no choice but to rent a courtyard house. In the villa behind the hotel, there were over 1,000 spiritual crystal. Master, did you not succeed? What are you doing here if not? Chen Shang originally thought that if Huang Jintian made a move, he would definitely succeed, but he was disappointed. Stinky brat, how do you know I didn't succeed? You actually underestimated me, master. Huang Jintian knocked his head heavily. I've asked around, but there hasn't been any news from the main palace. 2 little royals secretly leaving the Dragon King's side. That's a good opportunity, and you've just missed it. Chen Shang scratched his head and said resentfully. Little bastard, I have no choice but to beat you up. You underestimate me so much, but I've gone through so much trouble to capture those 2 little yellow dragons alive in exchange for your contempt. Huang Jintian had already rolled up his sleeves. Capture him alive, Chen Shang shouted in shock. Huang Jintian's fist had already landed on his body. In a blink of an eye, Chen Shang was struck by the two fists for a few hundred times, causing him to be in extreme pain. Aiyo, master, I was wrong. He also wanted to tell Huang Jintian about his battle achievements. He had killed an immortal king from the devil-suppressing divine palace, but there was nothing to show off about that. Long Shui and the other two girls were even more surprised. Long Shui thought that it was already considered good that Huang Jintian had managed to get a small piece of the dragon meat, but he had actually managed to catch them alive. Hee, it's good that you know this. Although you have done many things that even I admire, but don't be too proud. I am a master no matter what I say. If I were to seriously play, the things I've done would definitely not be worse than yours. Huang Jintian withdrew his fist and laughed complacently. Then, he said sinisterly, when I kidnapped these two little emperor dragons, I even used the emperor's feather chi that only the imperial avian race had. Chapter 13:17. Chen Shang looked at Huang Jintian in shock. Sovereign, Huang Yiki. Huang Jintian had just said that even though he had used emperor's feather just now, Huang Jintian actually knew how to use this kind of power. Just like the dragon power, it is an aura unique to imperial feather race. However, I can only use it a little. This is not as easy to learn as the dragon power, and it's not that useful. Huang Jintian said. This means that the Imperial Dragon clan will definitely suspect the Imperial Feather race and this war will arrive soon. What about those two little Emperor Dragons? Chen Shang did not have any good impression of the Imperial Dragon clan. He had already been enemies with him before, and last time, the Dragon Emperor had even wanted to capture Shui Shenxian and the others to threaten him. I haven't killed them yet, they're all Immortal Monarch level, it should be called Dragon Lord. If it is killed, then their original form will appear, their original form will be too big, and my storage magic treasure cannot fit inside, so I just knocked them out, and placed them inside a storage magic treasure that can pretend to be alive. Huang Jintian laughed heartily. This dragon meat is probably not tasty, it might be the same as snake meat, royal birds have wings, it should be like chicken wings or something like that. Master, what do you plan to do with those two little emperor dragons now? Chen Shang rubbed his chin and thought. These two little emperor dragons were both immortal monarchs, so the dragon pearls must be very strong. Even if he wanted to refine them into pills, it would take a very long time. Kill them right here. When the time comes, we'll definitely lure the Imperial Dragon clan and the sixth prince over. Huang Jintian was still a little conflicted, but the problem is how to deal with the dragon corpse. The dragon corpse are very big, it would be a waste to throw it away. Long Shui said to Chen Shang, if you can burn them, and use your fire energy to burn the dragon corpse to a crystal, that's all pure energy, and not a lot at that. Extinguish the fire. A few things flashed through Chen Zhang's mind. He had previously told him that this extinction fire was a type of flame that only Jade Dragon could release. It was specifically used to commit suicide, so that no one could obtain the precious Jade Dragon blood. Even though your Jade Dragon blood fused with other things, it is still inside your body, so you can still use it. This kind of flame has a lot of destructive power to the dragon's body, otherwise, the Jade Dragon would not have killed yourself with this kind of flame. Long Shui said, if you don't know anything, I'll teach you. This kind of flame doesn't need to be learned, it only needs to be guided. Chen Shang put a hand on Huang Jintian's shoulder. Master, I have a way. I can use a type of flame to burn dragon corpse to crystal, then it will be easy to protect. Huang Jintian looked at Chen Shang with wide eyes and said in shock, could it be that the fire was extinguished without a trace? After that, Huang Jintian casually touched Chen Zhang's body, and Chen Shang laughed, no, I'm still a human. In that case, you have obtained the Jade Dragon blood. Both Chen Shang and Long Shui were very surprised that Huang Jintian knew so much. Chen Shang smiled and nodded. Good boy, this is a good thing. If it can give you an indestructible body in the future, then it will be easy. Huang Jintian looked at Chen Shang with a gaze that made him feel like he was drinking blood. There's one more thing. I heard that in the next few days, some royal birds will be coming here to inspect the battlefield. If possible, bring them to the place where I killed the dragon. Huang Jintian laughed sinisterly. I see. Chen Shang knew what Huang Jintian was calculating. If by chance someone from the Imperial Dragon clan comes over and finds out that the Imperial Feather race is also here, the Imperial Feather race will not be able to escape. That night, Huang Jintian brought Chen Shang to find a good place. At that time, Huang Jintian just needed to escape from the two Emperor Dragon's dragon pearls, exterminate the divine soul, and then chop off the head. You have to watch out for the time to lure those fellows from the Imperial Avian race over here. When that time comes, you'll have to leave the Imperial Avian race to me and then you can come and burn the dragon's body. You have to leave before the Imperial Dragon clan and the sixth prince arrive. Huang Jintian said in a serious tone. If the group of immortal kings were to come, it would be very difficult to escape. After confirming the location, Chen Shang and Huang Jintian returned, waiting for the Imperial Feather race to come over. At this time, the main palace had already sent out news regarding the search, and they had received a lot of rewards. The 20 million spiritual crystal were both used to search for the two royal dragons that were kidnapped. Could not help but admire Huang Jintian. After kidnapping the two emperor dragons, he did not make any big movements, causing the Imperial Dragon clan to not have any clues at all, so he left Huang Yuhi at the scene. However, the Imperial Dragon clan was still very cautious, it was just a suspicion, and they had also sent people to investigate the Imperial Feather race's side. If the Imperial Feather race used it to threaten them, they would have to withdraw, because the two Emperor Dragons were good seedlings, and one of them was a holy dragon. Master, if we kill these two Emperor Dragons, do you think the Dragon Emperor will appear? Chen Shang asked. The last time the Dragon Emperor appeared, it was because of his precious son's death. Although these two little Emperor Dragons are precious, they are not precious to the point of being like his precious son. Don't be afraid, even if he comes, we are still very safe. Huang Jintian said. If it were any ordinary person, forget about the Dragon Emperor, even dragons would not dare to provoke them. However, this pair of master and disciple dared to kill an Emperor Dragon, and were not afraid of the Dragon Emperor at all. There are 3 from the Imperial Avian race S. Although all of them are Immortal Monarch S, you should be able to deal with them. Huang Jintian's face revealed a smile. Soon, I will be able to see the big show of biting the dog. Leave it to me, I'll go. Chen Shang anxiously ran out of the hotel and ran in the direction of the transmission array. Just as the 3 Immortal Monarch S came out of the transmission array, they released a powerful aura, making everyone retreat far, far away, not daring to approach them. Didn't you say that Imperial Feather race is very low-key? Why are you being so arrogant now? When Chen Shang ran over, he felt an extremely arrogant aura, as if he was looking at someone who he disliked and wanted to kill. We are all Immortal Monarch, you better be careful. Long Shui replied, if that's not possible, I'll come out and help you. I can handle it. Chen Shang had already seen the clothes of the 3 Imperial Feather race rankers were as if they were made of feathers and shone with a piercing red light. They were all red and steaming hot, as if they were all made of fire. Hurry up and get lost, this transmission array will be ours from today onwards. As a man shouted, he released his Imperial Feather aura, intimidating everyone present. Then how are we going to get out of here? One of the braver ones asked. Go to hell, so you don't have to leave. The man from the Imperial Feather race sneered. With a raise of his hand, he released a streak of fiery light that struck towards that man, burning him to ashes. All of you, scram a bit further away. When I see you weak fellows, I want to crush you to death. Quickly, scram. If you don't scram, I will burn all of you. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't want to dirty my hands, you would have already died. Facing these 3 tyrannical and powerful Imperial Feather race, everyone could only grumble in their hearts, before leaving the transmission array one after another. When Chen Shang saw them, he quickened his pace. These 3 Imperial Feather races had arrogant smiles on their faces. Looking at the people who were fleeing everywhere, they still had murderous intent in their hearts. They raised their hands and gathered their powerful flame energy, preparing to attack. Seeing this, Chen Shang calculated the power of the spatial laws and then appeared in front of the 3 Imperial Feather races. Imperial Avian race, it's not your turn to be arrogant here. Chen Shang very loudly shouted. He swept his palm across, and very accurately slapped the 3 Imperial Feather races in the face, which released a "pa" sound. Slap his own face to injure it, thinking himself to be superior. Imperial Feather race who was standing in the 9th heaven was actually slapped ruthlessly, and the power of this slap was very strong, causing their faces to swell up. Chen Shang channeled the dragon power in his body. The one he was currently using was slightly different from the one he had used before. This was the power of the Holy Dragon, the one he had cultivated from consuming the Holy Dragon pellet last time. The power of the Holy Dragon, Imperial Dragon clans. A Imperial Feather Race shouted, but he felt much better because he had been beaten up by a holy dragon. If he were to be slapped like that by a human, it would truly be shameful. That's right, I was the one who hit you. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he immediately dodged to the side to avoid the attack, and an Imperial Feather Race spat out a burning flame. Originally, these three Imperial Feather Races thought that the other party would launch a fierce attack and have a great battle with them. However, after Chen Shang dodged that attack, he jumped into the air and flew away. Chapter 13:18. Don't run. Naturally, the three from Imperial Feather Race would not let this go. They were slapped mercilessly, and they did not even manage to take a single hair off their opponent. How could they endure such a loss? What Chen Shang wanted was precisely this kind of reaction from them. If he were to fight with these three Imperial Feather Races, he wouldn't be able to beat any of them. These three pigs will be eaten sooner or later. Long Shui scoffed. As expected, Imperial Feather Race is still the same as always, not changing at all. I don't know how they managed to pass down their teachings for so long, but this kind of arrogant fool, who can be compared with Imperial Dragon Clan, would only humiliate Imperial Dragon Clan. If you have the ability to sneak attack us, then don't you have the ability to face us head on? Imperial Dragon Clan is such a guy after all, HMPH. Imperial Feather Race who was chasing from behind shouted. For bullies like you who only know how to bully the weak and fear the strong, I feel that hitting you all would dirty my hands. Now, even if you guys were to stretch your other face over for me, I wouldn't even bother hitting you guys. Chen Shang mocked. Although their speed was fast, it was not comparable to Chen Shang using spatial travel. It was just that Chen Shang had expended a lot of energy, and if not for Huang Jintian supporting him from the front, he wouldn't dare to use the power of the spatial laws so recklessly. He simply wasn't able to burn the innate chi rapidly in the heaven realm. Almost there, Chen Shang was a little nervous. The mountain that had been split in half was the place where Huang Jintian had slayed the dragon. The moment he saw the gigantic mountain, he saw a burst of reddish gold light suddenly appearing in front of him. The light expanded out in the blink of an eye, enveloping almost half of the Immortal Palace. The roar of the dead dragons. After Long Shui finished speaking, a burst of intense dragon roars came out, shaking the entire Immortal Palace till it started to tremble. A strong voice spread out in all directions, enveloping the entire myriad Dan Immortal country. Did two dragons die at the same time? What's going on? A Imperial Feather Race shouted in shock. Why didn't I do this when I first killed Prince Imperial Dragon? Chen Shang and the others were stunned by the sight of the death of the dragon. Prince Imperial Dragon's strength is too weak, so there weren't any movements when he died. However, dragons of this level are different, and they're even royal dragons. Long Shui said. After the blinding light disappeared, there were two incomparably large dragon bodies lying in front of him. One was golden, while the other was red. Under the sunlight, the countless dragon scales on the two dragon bodies shined with a dazzling light. Brat, it's your turn. I'll deal with them. Huang Jintian suddenly rushed forward. Chen Shang did not expect these dragon corpses to be so huge. It would be very difficult to burn them using obliterating flame. You need at least half of your blood to burn these two dragon corpses. Hurry up, when the time comes, I'll guide you to release the obliterating flame. Long Shui said. If these two emperor dragons had died, with such a large movement, they would definitely attract the attention of the main palace. If they did not make a move soon, then they could only watch as these two dragon corpses were taken away by the Imperial Dragon Clan. Chen Shang stood on top of the golden dragon corpse. A strange feeling suddenly came to his mind, and then he heard Long Shui shout, "Your heart thinks of transforming your blood into flames, so that you can release it. Remember, you only need a small ball of it." Chen Shang immediately followed his orders and released a small ball of flame. This flame was snow-white in color and didn't have any temperature at all, but it still made Chen Shang feel that it was extremely frightening. He placed the flame on top of the dragon corpse beneath his feet and stuffed it into a large piece of dragon's scale. Then, he jumped onto another dragon corpse and released a ball of fire that disappeared just now and stuffed it under the dragon's scale. After doing all of this, Chen Shang floated high in the sky and said with a frown, "Why is there no movement? It's already there. The interior is burning, but when this eclipse burn is ignited, you can't see it, nor can you feel the temperature." Long Shui said, "This flame is completely transparent." Sure enough, Chen Shang didn't have to wait too long before he saw an astonishing scene. He saw the two gigantic dragon corpses disappear bit by bit, as if they were going to melt. Huang Jintian, who was fighting with the three royalty in the distance, released a very powerful dragon power that was actually able to suppress the three imperial feather races. He glanced at the two dragon corpses and realized that they were melting. Not long after, the dragon corpse completely disappeared. The three imperial feather races also saw this scene, but they did not know that this was the extinguishing of flames. There were some secrets regarding the jade dragon, so of course they would not know, but they felt that it was extremely strange. To collect the crystals is called extinguishing fire, but to burn the corpses and turn them into many crystals, that is a very pure energy. Long Shui shouted. Chen Shang released his divine power and felt around the areas that the two dragon bodies had covered. He discovered that there were quite a few small crystals that were as big as small beads, and he used his divine power to lock them all in. There weren't many of these dragon crystals, only 2 jade boxes. But the pure energy contained within them was enormous. The Imperial Dragon clan is here, there's still a large group of immortal kings, let's quickly retreat. Huang Jintian rushed towards Chen Shang as fast as he could and transmitted his voice to him. He's coming, he's very fast, Long Shui said nervously. Huang Jintian flew to Chen Zhang's side and grabbed him. Then, for some reason, Chen Zhang's vision went black, and he walked right through the darkness. I'm underground, I'm far away from that place now, Huang Jintian said. Long Shui was still monitoring them from afar, those 3 royal birds are already dead. Once a holy dragon king from Imperial Dragon clan appeared, he blasted them to death, leaving nothing behind. Looks like there's no proof that they died. They won't know that we did it. Chen Shang laughed. Huang Jintian brought him to a river bank. He used the earth escape technique and the water escape technique to escape quickly. Well done this time, we master and disciple have teamed up, is there anything we can't do? Huang Jintian laughed heartily as he took out 2 dragon orbs, radiating with golden and fiery red multicolored light. Halfway, you want the holy dragons and you want the fire dragons? Huang Jintian asked. It's probably the fire dragons. It might help my flame a little, Chen Shang said as he also took out the 2 jade boxes, which were the dragon crystals he had collected. I want the holy dragon. I never thought that you would be able to use the power of the holy dragon, it should be the Prince Imperial Dragon's doing. Huang Jintian chuckled as he received the jade box from Chen Zhang's hands. If we lack spiritual crystal, then we can exchange for quite a few dragon crystals from them. This dragon pearl is even more so. Huang Jintian took out a dragon crystal and examined it carefully. This was holy dragons, it contained the power of the holy dragon. If you are crazy, then take the dragon pearl and sell it. Chen Shang put it away. This was all used to raise his strength, he was lacking something like this right now. If it's used to exchange for precious medicinal ingredients, then that's more like it. Chen Shang said again, he also needed this. Huang Jintian took out a few dragon crystals and threw them into his mouth to swallow, causing Chen Shang to scream in shock. I have to recover my strength first. Bringing you along to run has consumed too much of my energy. You should also properly adjust your condition. If you can only give out this little bit of wealth, I'm afraid it won't satisfy you. Huang Jintian grinned. Chen Shang smiled and nodded, this immortal palace would become a battlefield, and the heaven pills of the immortal king immortal monarch S would also be good stuff. If he could open up their storage magic treasure, or pick up 1 or 2 dragon king dragon corpse, or even the corpses of royal birds, then he would profit greatly. Huang Jintian were resting right now, when the earth suddenly started to shake. Huang Jintian opened his eyes and looked at the beams of light in the blue sky, and said seriously, the war is about to begin, it seems that both sides are fighting strongly, and the old king has already left the myriad Dan immortal country. The battle for the throne has already started, I wonder who will be the new king of the immortal country. Anyway, it's not us, and these guys are all dog eat dog. That 6th prince's cooperation with Fire Divine Palace is definitely not something good, and he even used such a cruel and inhumane way to make slaves. If possible, I really want to make him suffer a bit. Chen Shang said. That's for sure, especially those fellows from the Fire Divine Palace, they actually wanted to force you to teach them that pill refining technique. After we rest well, we'll rush over and let them know why the flowers are so red. Huang Jintian sneered. Chapter 13:19. The heaven realm was so big, not only Chen Shang and Huang Jintian had the idea of making a fortune, there were also many other people who were willing to risk their lives to come to the battlefield of the battle for the throne to try their luck. At this time, the majority of the people participating in the great battle in the palace were immortal monarch and late period of human immortal, and they were all from famous big powers, so all the equipment that they brought were divine equipment. Even if they were damaged, they could be sold for a good price. If they were lucky, they would be able to get a piece that was intact, and that would be great. Brat, you must be the one who did the Heavenly Bull Immortal Palace thing, right? Huang Jintian was now full of energy. He had already recovered to the peak, and could go to that battlefield to cause trouble at any time. You know about the Heavenly Bull Immortal Palace as well. Chen Shang stood up, patted his butt and asked in shock. Other than you, I can't think of anyone else with this kind of skill, nor can I think of anyone with such a good relationship with women. You must have gotten that Holy Spirit rabbit for your woman. Let me remind you, you definitely can't use it yourself, unless you're tired of being a man. Huang Jintian looked at Chen Shang with a serious expression. Chen Shang chuckled. Master, you don't have to worry, I will never become your female disciple. Huang Jintian grinned. It's not bad having a female disciple, but a brat like you is so happy as a man. Even if I beat you to death you wouldn't go and be a woman, right? We can set off now, master. When I use some poison or something, there shouldn't be a problem. Chen Shang said. With his current strength, if he wanted to cause trouble, he could only do so. I heard that when you were in the Heavenly Bull Immortal Palace, you used the black blood magic sunflower's poison. This poison isn't forbidden, so just use it as you like. Huang Jintian rubbed his hands together as he smiled. When the time comes, we'll split up and move out. Don't come together, otherwise, we will attract some experts that will implicate you. However, you need to be careful. If you see the Immortal Empire charging over, quickly run. Huang Jintian warned. Chen Shang nodded, then was pulled by Huang Jintian and rushed towards the distant battlefield that was engulfed in violent oppression. At this moment, the place was densely covered in black clouds, lightning flashed, thunder roared, winds rose and clouds surged, roars, explosions rang unceasingly, and the battle situation was extremely intense. Let's stop here. See you in the future. Huang Jintian tossed Chen Shang at the foot of a bare mountain, then flew towards the battlefield not far away. Chen Shang looked at the barren hills around him. They were caused by the chi waves released by the Great Battle. Originally, there were many big trees here, but they were all destroyed the moment the Great War broke out. Whether it's the early stage of Immortal Monarch or the late period of Human Immortal, everyone stay away from the rest. There are 2 late period of Human Immortal fighting in front of us. Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately rushed over. In these 2 big battles, the ones that died the most should be worldly immortals. As long as we don't meet the Immortal King, it would be difficult to kill them, unless we meet someone strong with poison. Long Shui said. This method of fighting is also to weaken the opponent's strength, so that they cannot have enough power to control the entire immortal country. While the other forces only used a very small amount of power, the main force is still on the side of the 6th prince and the other princes. In front of Chen Shang, there were 2 middle-aged men who were wielding immortal swords, and were performing beautiful yet powerful sword techniques to fight fiercely. There's no imperial avian race. These should all be myriad Dan immortal country's people. Chen Shang hid behind a huge boulder and slowly took out his death-haunting arrow. Who cares? Let's get rid of them first. They only have middle-grade immortal swords, so they can sell a few spiritual crystal. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang used the death-haunting arrow to condense a large amount of innate chi to shoot one arrow, and then poured the black blood magic sunflower's poison powder into it, waiting for an opportunity to shoot 2 birds with 1 stone. After waiting for a moment, the 2 worldly immortals finally started to fight back with their swords. He's coming. Chen Zhang's heart moved. He released the poison arrow that he had been preparing for a long time. With a whoosh, a strong chi arrow that was infused with a large amount of black blood magic sunflower poison powder shot out like light, and when it reached the middle of the 2 worldly immortals, it suddenly exploded, causing a black poison mist. Extremely poisonous, it's a black blood magic sunflower. One of the worldly immortals shouted in shock. Good eye. Chen Shang suddenly appeared, holding onto the Devil Emperor dagger. He stabbed it into the worldly immortal stage cultivator's abdomen, and took out the heavenly core inside, then quickly took out the sword, passing through space, to the back of the other worldly immortal. The dagger stabbed in, straight into the heavenly pill. After taking the sword, Chen Shang used one of the immortal swords to kill the 2 worldly immortal stage experts. Hurry up, a immortal monarch has noticed us. Long Shui shouted. Chen Shang moved extremely quickly. After absorbing the poison mist, he immediately left the place. The immortal monarch that came over was a handsome middle-aged man. He looked at the traces of a fierce battle and frowned. Strange, there were two pretty strong worldly immortals fighting just now, why did they disappear all of a sudden? From the looks of the death aura, there should be two dead people here. It's He Tang, isn't he the eldest son of the first prince? Chen Shang was shocked, this He Tang was a very powerful being. He Tang, are you running away? This was He Feng, the eldest son of the sixth prince. He had once destroyed a demon palace by himself and was very strong. When He Feng arrived, the immortal sword in his hand had already been pierced, the powerful sword chi gushed out, immediately ripping the ground apart, setting up two strong gales, blowing in two different directions. This fellow is indeed powerful. No wonder he was able to exterminate this demon palace. Chen Shang exclaimed. He Tang was not someone to be trifled with a wave of his hand, a black blade appeared. The blade brimmed with black chi, it attracted bursts of lightning, and when He Feng's sword pierced over, he used his blade to block it, releasing tens of lightning bolts, and the sound of the explosion made Chen Zhang's chi and blood boil, causing many of the boulders on the ground to be shaken into powder. The myriad Dan immortal country's Wang Sun is indeed powerful. Chen Shang sighed in his heart. They are all princes now. The future king of myriad Dan immortal country will definitely be strong. Long Shui said. The sound of battle between He Tang and her was extremely intense. In a very short period of time, numerous huge craters had already appeared here, and the deep cracks on the ground caused people's hearts to palpitate. Chen Shang had originally planned to stay far away from these two people's battlefield, but when he thought about how hypocritical He Feng was, taking his relive Dan and doing those wicked things, he immediately got angry. Hiding in a ditch, he took out his death-haunting arrow and secretly injected it into the innate chi. A little seven-colored sky fire can break through the defense. Su Meiyao said. Otherwise, with that little bit of innate chi, it wouldn't even be able to shake his innate chi's barrier, and the poison mist would be useless. Chapter 1320. When he was in the Heavenly Bull Immortal Palace, the immortal monarch that Chen Shang fought against were not very good. But this He Feng was different, he was at the peak of the late stage of the immortal monarch, and could be considered as half a immortal king. Unless he used a large number of magical corruption gases, together with a high-level God Eclipse powder, it would be very difficult to shake his defense. Alright, Chen Shang released a thread of the rainbow sky fire onto the arrowhead. This kind of flame could not guarantee that it would completely destroy He Feng's defense, but it could cause cracks to appear on the protective shield. When the time came, the exploding black blood magic sunflower poison gas would seep in through the cracks and into He Feng's body. He Feng and He Tang were battling fiercely, the two of them had both used very strong power, their defense was also extremely terrifying. If they did not have the same strength as, even if they tried to sneak attack him, it would be difficult to win, and they might even be killed. Just a bit of the rainbow heaven flame had consumed 20% of my innate chi. I hope it will have some effect. Chen Shang popped his head out from a crack in the ground. He Feng and He Tang were far away and Chen Shang could already shoot an arrow, but he had to wait for a good opportunity. They are all moving at high speeds. We have to get closer. Long Shui said. Chen Shang still could not go near, otherwise, he would be easily discovered. Furthermore, with the large commotion in front of him, he could release a very strong wave of air at any time. Seems like I can only use this opportunity and travel through space to shoot another arrow. Chen Shang used Heaven Tour and looked down from the sky. After a while, when He Feng was thrusting his sword, he was suddenly blocked by He Tang's blade. He Tang's palm struck his own blade, releasing a very strong force and sent He Feng flying. Here's your chance, He Feng, FKU. Chen Shang immediately teleported to the back of He Feng, who was flying backwards, and shot an arrow at him. He Feng immediately felt a weak vibration behind him. He twisted his body, wanting to avoid the unknown attack, but Chen Zhang's arrow still accurately shot towards him. Who are you? He Feng bellowed. The arrow did not cause him any harm, because the protective chi barrier on his body was extremely strong, and although Chen Zhang's crossbow arrow was extremely powerful, its power was very weak, and the chi barrier that struck his body exploded. He Tang had also seen that this was a good thing. He had already seen Chen Shang as an ally. Just as He Feng was about to swing his sword at Chen Shang, his expression suddenly changed. Black blood magic sunflower. You guessed right. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. He immediately teleported in front of He Feng and slashed across his neck with the Devil Emperor dagger, leaving behind a ray of demonic red light. He actually wanted to kill He Feng, but this He Feng was too powerful. He managed to dodge it in an instant, and even planned to kill Chen Shang with a slash, but Chen Zhang's speed was faster than he imagined. While cutting the sword, Devil Emperor dagger just happened to cut off his wrist. When Defying unleashed his cut-off arm, black blood spurted out violently. It seemed like the poison had already spread within his body. Bastard, I will tear you into 8 pieces. Defying roared sinisterly, then took out a snow-white pill and swallowed it. That's the Dew Snow Lotus pellet. It can cure the black blood magic sunflower's poison and heal injuries. Quick, run. Su Meiyao shouted. Chen Shang had already seen that Defying's recently severed hand was growing back out, and his complexion had also quickly recovered. He could clearly feel how strong Defying's protective shield was. Come here. Chen Shang waved his hand. Using his divine power, he grabbed the immortal sword and kept it into the ring. Go to hell. Defying was enraged. He had already recovered from the attack and his fists shot out like lightning. Chen Shang slipped and used the shrinking step, and instantly dashed several dozen steps away. As for Tang, he had already attacked with his black blade. It carried several streaks of lightning as it hacked towards Defying. I'll leave it to you, eldest young master. Chen Shang shouted, and then disappeared. Defying trembled with Tang again. He was currently extremely furious. He had almost died just now. He had lost a high-grade immortal sword and a precious snow gauze lotus pellet, but he was still unable to kill the person who poisoned him. Tang never thought that person would be so powerful. With just that bit of strength, he dared to sneak attack Tang, broke his opponent's palm, took away his immortal sword, and even gave Defying a rainy snow lotus pellet. Chen Shang had already left the battlefield far away, and when he thought back to it now, he felt a lingering fear. That guy really does have some ability. He didn't die even like this, and he's still able to turn the tide. Chen Shang hid in a deep ravine as he looked at Defying's high-grade immortal sword. What kind of immortal pill is that Rain Dew Snow Lotus pill? It's so powerful, it can cure poisons and even give birth to a palm. Chen Shang asked after he wiped the consciousness in the immortal sword. A tier 5 immortal pill, it's not strange that he has such a pill. It's best if you don't touch these princes and grandsons of Myriad Dan immortal country, they have a lot of high-grade immortal pills. Su Meiyao said. Long Shui observed the battlefield and helped Chen Shang find a better target, but she quickly discovered that something was wrong. Many people from the 6th prince know about the appearance of the black blood magic sunflower poison, and so does the eldest prince. They all know that you are not on their side. Although the black blood magic sunflower poison is not banned, if you use it at this time, it will definitely attract anger. Bai Yu said. Back then when my sister participated in the Great War, it was also because she used poison that many of the great powers came into contact with her. Chen Shang said disdainfully. This group of fellows, if they had a strong poison, they would definitely use it even more ruthlessly than me. They are just jealous of me, because they don't have a strong poison. He was carefully hiding in the battlefield. After half a day, he shook his head and sighed. If I had the power of the immortal monarch, I might have already killed quite a few of them. Master would definitely reap a bountiful harvest. When we talk about this matter in the future, he would definitely look down on me. Up ahead, Long Shui shouted. When Chen Shang saw a person falling from the sky, he immediately used his earth vine to trap the immortal sword with the person and dragged it to the ground to get to the person's side. He was currently hiding in the deep ravine and no one had noticed him. Low-grade immortal sword, you actually dare to fight with such a thing? No wonder you were killed. Chen Shang was a little dissatisfied and kept the immortal sword, then took out the person's heaven pellet. Many immortals had died, but most of them had been broken into pieces. It was rare to find a complete corpse like this, and he even had a complete sword in his hand. Someone from the Imperial Avian race is coming. It seems like he is here to look for the corpse. Long Shui's voice was a little agitated. You have to get rid of it, it's best if it's complete. Don't use poison, otherwise you won't be able to eat bird meat.